It's the survival stage, but I can't wait to see what some of the squads that have experience with this kind of format, especially in such a compact format, can do.
And here are today's matches, guys. We're starting off in that Rondo. We're going to be talking about it a lot because of just how much of a game changer it is. 3 Aaron Gales, 2 Miramars, but the big difference here in the grand finals is it ain't just one day. We're going to have 2 days worth of matches.
Yeah, we talked about Rondo a lot, so I'm going to talk on Wrangle. Man, our playing paths have been brutal. Like A, B, and survival stage. Hopefully, we're going to have a bit of a sense of normality throughout today's 6 games. But out of this, we do know that teams need to be ready to adapt. You're throwing a bad circle, a bad plane 7. No excuses. You need to bring your A+ tier here in terms of rotation.
And when you were talking about plane path, I mean, we got to see that double plane path at one point for Rondo, and it definitely affected how some of those teams were dropping and how some of those teams were fighting. Is it going to happen right here today? Federales is ready, the crowd is ready, and I'm definitely ready to see what they got in Rondo.
Hey, you got to put that fan on you, baby, because the heat is at an all-time high right now. The pressure is on. I was talking to some of these teams going into today, and they were just straight up telling me, man, we spent 6-8 hours last night studying, putting in the work, making sure that we're prepared for today.
I mean, really, talking at the overall scheme of this tournament, PMGO Season 1, $500,000 on the line, but also PMWC, 2 regions aren't decided yet when it comes to PMWC points, and that's going to be ECA, Eastern Europe, Central Asia, between the side of Vicious and TT Project. If TT Project 7 rank up in 11th place or above, Vicious are out, TT Project will be taking their spot at the PMWC over in Paris.
Which could be doable. Remember, one of the strongest match that TT Project had was in Aaron. We will be playing 3 Aaron Gills, as you saw earlier, and they were able to secure a 2nd place finish. They're a very strong team when it comes to elims too.
Well, it's time, folks. Let's get it. Match number 1 of the grand finals. We're going into Rondo, and we can just see these players. They are locked, loaded, ready to go.
Starts up northwest and is going to go straight down to Tin Long Garden, meaning Yulin 7 is going to get busy, and a team that dominates in Yulin is Aurora Gaming.
And I'm excited to see what they're going to be able to do. Are they going to be starting off hot? I got a chance to talk to their coach, and Archer was telling me the strategy for today is full aggression, and boy, do I want to see it here in Rondo.
Yes, they were aggressive already on their first Rondo. If they're even more aggressive, how many limbs are they going to get?
Hey, you know what? As many as it takes to get that lion's share of that $500,000 on the line here, guys. But this is about to get started. Let's go ahead and throw it on over to our casters, John Allen and Blake.
Looking for some violence over in Yulin. Let's kick it off with a big one here on Rondo. I'm already seeing a big belly full of teams drop it on in.
Getting themselves straight over towards the map as soon as possible. Neox a little bit further away, but looks like a lot of teams aren't even heading in that direction to start things off. But E-Arena dropping on top of Ulf. 2 very, very strong teams here at the PMGO Season 1, but we're here in Grand Finals, and every single point counts from here on forward. Sky opens up to Federales.
Oh, and Crazy as well is going down. Aura really rinsing the hometown heroes right now. Having a terrible time. Meanwhile, on our screens, it seems like Aaron is giving it a good go over towards the stadium. E-Arena having trouble dislodging the brutal powerhouse of the roster. Aaron holding the door frame and looks for more, runs out of ammo. Is going to go down. That is not nice. Western circle blank, and it's pretty hard to the west.
Yeah, very hard to us. We're already cutting out like 15% of the circle here on this one. Flash starting out very early towards the center. They have control over towards the res beacons too. Eastbound Boy opens up over towards Horror from Sky. But you know what is surprising? Just one team currently over towards Neox Factory. All the actions happening elsewhere. 7-2-1 also getting stuck into the thick of it.
Oh, seems like Aurora as well. Joker holds the door frame. That is too swift for it, and Scarface can't control the pace. Aura, they've been dominating in this area, blank. Over in Yulin, they have had so much already handed to them. They're on 3 eliminations. They're looking to keep this one going. But Aurora, okay, they've navigated over. Has that found the outpost before Thrives? I think he might have done.
Flash lose 2 to Masku. With the help of very, very nice Molotov here. Doc finding 4 Thrives as well. 4 Thrives really suffering at the hand of a lot of teams at the moment. Doc will take down Falak. Diaz win down, but Bozy, Top Z, a deadly duo to be sure.
Someone you can't trifle with. It's going to cut the mustard. And Team Flash, you lose another. Don't worry, though. A lot of these teams will be able to get these recalls. Aurora, in the meantime, with T24 on site for 4 thrives. They're back up to 3. They have full control over Neok's factory, which I don't know how they managed that. It seems like nobody wanted to go near them on that spot. Everyone else is much more preoccupied elsewhere. But the roll back on in towards Yulin has seemingly gone quite well to open it up.
T24. Kind of an astonishing good performance from him. I think there was a lot expected out from the likes of Falak, but T24 stepped up where it's really counted. BTR coming in with the shots over towards 7-2-1. You can probably already hear the crowd silence. Will quiet it down over here. Fury of the 2 elims on the game. Full 4-man squad. Horror looking over towards Kevin here from DK. The M249 extended battle here will be prevalent for him.
Looking to keep that suppressive fire down, and Sky darts for the cliff face, needs closer range. That UMP can come into effect, and that's what you're looking for. Horror, they were able to top Group 1 blank. Many purported it to be the group of death, and it looks like they're trying to keep that roll going with 4 eliminations already. This is a good start. They do have a lot more still to fight through, though, in their area.
G getting caught up between the likes of Fury as well as Horror. Love that run out from Sky, though. Really just takes his time to go for it. Versus M249, that's a really risky play, but sort of hides himself along that ridge side and is able to get up. And obviously, it does take the gun skill to make it happen, and he still keeps going. Chiefs down next, and Horror's opening up a big way on this first match. 5 elims.
Still yet to conclude over towards Yulin. This is all off the hot drop blank. It looks like they are fully committed now, with all of their players on spot, I believe. Or maybe actually they have a...
What is going on with this guy?
Sky is just on a beam right now. He is lasering down anybody who steps into his sightlines. I think actually it might only be 3 players from Honor here, and they're South Point, Honor, and Jang, if I'm not mistaken. That is still, out to the winds, but there is a little bit of a threat down on that south side near Injang. Got a team rotating down there too.
Sky's doing this with no helmet, level 1 vest. Has himself the 6X as well, and making some insane sprays off the back of it. 2 nades in hand. Hasn't gone for the first aid kit yet. The bounce is good. Sky is high like a G6 this game and refuses to come down. It is not happening. Horror might just be gliding into an insane first game.
You step onto Sky's screens and he sends you to the clouds, Blank. You are not coming back from that one. An 8 elim opener coming through, and a huge impact, a huge blow dealt to the rest of the lobby here from Oda very, very quickly. And they didn't even need their recall down on the south side. Jiggle wants to get stuck in, but he needn't bother. They're just going to chill out. 3 players take control of Yulin, and now nobody else is in zone. Look for the rotations.
Just incredible stuff coming through from Sky here. For Horror, eclipsing the 1 elim per minute mark here over on Rondo and looking to only go further. Aurora trapped upstairs versus Boom. Underneath, taking a bit of shots here. Molotov doesn't quite spread far enough. Top will get down the stairs. Refus now looking for a side angle. The nade's not great.
Going to connect, fully healed there with that first aid as well. Just a little poor bounce on the window drop from top. And now Refus on the sideline could have an impact here, but just back off the angle. The nade still able to land, and Top goes down first. Aurora, they might have been thrown a lifeline low. There are third-party angles on towards Boom. Refus could go for this res, but there's still more nades, and that's what he's worried about here. Doc goes down in the offline. Boom are doing work here against Aurora, and Refus really needs to stand up tall on the defense with Doc down, Zyol, and Refus. This duo needs to come in clutch.
Zyol's going to drop like an anvil here versus Octa. Doesn't quite find the bounce on it, and now he's surrounded all angles, moves out, will get at least a knock, but Octa will finish him off here. Immediately in the midst of the chaos, they're going to go for the res upstairs. The nade looks pretty decent. It heads in, and it's a double. Aurora is out on the first 7 minutes of Rondo.
Boom goes the dynamite, and Aurora go down. What a massive turnaround. They said they wanted momentum here on Rondo. It is not to be. Oh my goodness me, what an exciting opener here for the grand finals. And now with 7-2-1, solo on location, Team Flash have been scrapping in this area for quite a while in Jaltin.
No Fear still going, or up to 9 eliminations now, and they don't look to be dropping anytime soon. Nate goes up, he's round the corner, Rahan tries to hold, and will make it happen. This is the man that battled off the boards, grabbed them by the tusks, and is doing it once again here.
Looking to extinguish on Team Flash, but there is still a recall opportunity.
No way,
Soke
no
goes
way.
down. Sky is just a beast. He is a monster. This man is unbelievable today, and if on form like this, there's no stopping Horror.
Sky is what goes bump underneath the bed right now. Horror looking to move out towards the western side of Jiaotin. Definitely possible. We're gonna look towards Pandem right now, a winner from their first rondo. Controlled over towards that western side, a team that definitely got most of their success out of that one rondo game. Malaku, good shots. But will get taken back out again. Scarface. Catch is safe. Malik's coming through, but a little bit of just bumper cars at the moment.
Not really going too much further. Getting the flush is great news. It looks like Ulf will protect their res as well, which does remove a point from 7-2.
Oh, will they?
Damage still pouring in. Malik has got a high ground angle, but there are off angles to deal with as well. Scarface able to keep his team safe for the time being. Rayhan's there, but Malik has fallen.
Palak again down to Horror of all people. This is a very much insane first game coming through from Horror, coming off the back of their last group as well, where you always wonder, was it just a good day for them? But this is no fluke.
Great rondo is absolutely how you want to start your ascension as well. Of course, it is only one map, and we do now have that 12-match set starting to round things out. Obviously, on those 6-match sets that we've seen over the last 3 days of play, it's so much more impactful having these massive openers. It's still brilliant, but for Horror, they do need to maintain consistency, so they can't get ahead of themselves just yet. A real long shot to find a nice pick-off on towards Eren, and the flush there as well. Players are coming out to play today, Blank.
They are, and they're having a good time of it. That is an incredibly long shot coming through from them. Scarface heads over towards the side. Solus up to the wall now. Pagoda. Rahan some much needed safety. The nade goes up, half HP. The second is good. Solus will be taken down afterwards by Malik, though. Seems to be on a tear at distance.
Get it done. These ranged engagements, Blank, have been really pretty from a lot of these players on their accuracy. It has definitely stepped up. Beautiful stuff coming on through. For Ulf, they are on 2 players now with Ketch and Scarface. Both of them are going to have to try and maybe find a recall tower, although your options are starting to slim down. 7-2-1 have the control of the one up to the northwest, and I don't think they're going to let that go for free.
Yeah, getting through the test track over towards E-Arena on that north side also quite difficult. You've got to push through 7-2-1, who are continuing to surround because they had that control over towards the res beacon. Has to be a big clutch coming through from Scarface as well as Ketch going forward. But players coming into this finals just look to be on something very different today.
Bumping all the way up on the west side of the map, Blank at the moment with the circle. See if it keeps going out that way. It gives Boom a little bit more power. It does indeed.
Goodness
on
me.
the southwest side, look at Goat Team's position. That is so huge on the high ground there. Boom as well on the north.
2 really big bits of high ground here. You also have the compound that sits over towards that western side, and all this ridge line down towards the west. We do have at least 10% of the circle, which is just unplayable right now. A very, very tough circle to start things off. Aura's already profited in a big way, though, and they're currently looking to hold on that northeast side, get some more points off the back of this one. They have lost 1. Now S2G, the Miracle Marathon at the end of their group, now looking to convert.
Furia spotting a player from BTR and taking them down. Fourth Rise making their move in. Push their way through. At the moment, underneath Goat Team as well. This is a difficult area now to start to establish yourself. Those high grounds that you were talking about, Blank, such great outlook across so much of this zone. And the southwest side is going to be very, very tricky to try and find your feet in towards. As S2G trade nades. Back and forth with TT Project. First player to face, Ephius wants to get this knock into the area, but back into the vehicle, doesn't dodge that one. And a second to immediately blast him away. S2G lose 1.
Not likely to get that res up either, so S2G will have to figure this out versus TT Project. Kamikaze in the back lines here, along with Lost, currently on a scouting mission in the vehicle. Soulcase still up. Losing Hamzy G is rough. One of the better players on this squad, I would say. A lot of time in the game, and a lot of time at the highest levels of PUBG Mobile too. So him going out and being unresable is a bit of a gut punch here for S2G.
Tough BTR now in an engagement. They did manage to get the recall off, and they are rolling in towards Furia. They want revenge, but no! Igor's there, fine. The re-knock though, and they may just be able to pick that teammate up. It's stage 3, it's Red Bull in the zone still. Razak can't quite thread the needle there. The backup for BTR is going to come on in. Furia taking damage, but they keep dishing it out in response. Another, and the spray down. Razy can't connect either. And it is almost all over. It is now.
Dear.
Furia roll them down. And BTR, the second team to fall out here in Rondo.
A really good comeback there coming through from Furia. A hard fight to go up against. Razy was looking on fire, but Furia hold on. There's no one really else in that area either, so they can get a full team reset here. S2G, like we were saying before, Gaming Stars on the up and up. Looking to finish them off. It's turkey on turkey action.
Hopping in and out of the windows, Maniac has the sideswipe back up, but Soulcase trying to roll in for the assist. 3 players to handle on spot, and it's all too much to bear. S2G need a miracle now to keep this one rolling. I don't know if they've got it in the tank, but we'll see if Soulcase can dish out the damage. The nade not going to connect there. Stops the push though, and may force them into the open sightlines of a shotgun, and S2G will not do so. Soulcase down, and that is another team, a 3rd team to fall, as Pandem are in danger too. A 4th team evaporate.
Huge shots from Ephius. Zerich now looking to keep things going for the squad. A couple of players are in trouble. Ephius backing up here, understands he needs to get outside the sidelines. Zerich doesn't even attempt to go for the res. As Rolex from Gaming Stars will keep putting the pressure on, keep sending those rounds down range. Goat now open up over towards 7-2-1. It's getting messy, it's getting conflicted towards the center, but Goat still hold that high ground.
They really have some strength there. Geek as well on this western side do have one of the better spots as well to be playing into this one. Not likely that they need to get stuck in until a little bit later into this game. They're on 0 eliminations, Blank, but they have real survival potential here. They've got legs to go the distance.
They can run this one back. Horror, 11 eliminations. It definitely has slowed down just a little bit here for this team. Currently trying to clear the northeast side of the map. Gaming Stars are heading in. TT Project move up. Jiggle opens up on the first. Just one more to find here in Zerich, and he's already incredibly low.
Stay behind cover, but the bullet's pinging off the boot there, or the trunk if you're from one of the alternate English-speaking countries, but he's not speaking anymore. As he goes down on the rotate, TT Project eliminated. Otter on the northeast side, they started off super strong. They're looking to try and transition now, but they do have a little bit of a tricky approach here on the northeast.
Here's E-Arena cleaning up versus DK, or at least trying to. SafG's got a nade in hand, looks to pull the pin on it. It looks decent, goes a little bit too far. Immediately pulls another, has 3 more to work with here. So for Tony K, he's on a bit of a clock right now, but the misses keep coming through from SafG, giving a bit more time for Tony K to try and turn this one around.
Oh, that definitely keeping him safe. The previous explosion working in their favor, but there's shots from a third-party angle. Geek are playing now as 2, and they're rolling up. Both of them now on spot. Tony K has to go for the heal. Less than find another nade set his way. He tries to step out for it. Does find a knock, or at least an assist on one, but Geek will find E-Arena, take them down. In the meantime, this is Ora over on the northeast side Blank. They've been an absolute terror in the early game. This mid-game now on the menu.
14 eliminations, 28 still remaining in the lobby. There's so much more for Horror to do, and they have come out swinging on this map, looking to bat a home run on the first game here.
From that northeast side, you're right, there is so much distance for them to go, a lot of runway. Just be a little bit tough here with Goat Team holding the angle that they do. They haven't put anyone all the way up top there, Blank. They've not actually committed anyone to the peak of that mountain, which can be a really dominant sightline, but is also a big risk, so they are opting instead for a little bit more flexibility.
It doesn't really make sense to go up here just yet. You need to maintain sightlines, maintain control around this area. It's a good thing that Force sends downwards towards that southeast side, knowing that this road is going to be a little bit of a contention for them. Luckily, finding the last player here from Boom. Now just El Baril on that north side. They were very split before this. Furia tucking themselves in towards the southwest, and surprisingly, Ulf still going here with just Ketch and Scarface. We talked about a bit of a clutch up here required. Not quite into top 8 just yet, though.
A little bit further to go, but of course it is match 1. On a 12-match set, things can much more banked on towards consistency. Get a big blast out at the start. That's what you're looking for. No doubt about that one. Sky living up to that, definitely having a good time. And Nade over onto Furia. Furia now have 2 knocks sent towards them. Not easy on the southwest side. It looks like they should be able to find those reses. The emergency cover is doing a lot of work, though. That heavy lifting might just be too much. Straight out from Yusuf, still just peppering around their feet. I think the first res has come through for Furia, and they're looking to build back up to 4.
Igor trying to find a more sustainable place on the map to play at the moment as he moves down towards the southwest. For 7-2-1, got to give him credit. In terms of map knowledge, I think this team is very good, right? They know all the spots on the map where they can play, where they can stand across to, and they're pretty brazen in that fact as well. 4 Thrives, T24 takes the first knock here from Maniac, but not before he immediately goes down. Gaming Stars looking to dislodge 4 Thrives from this position so they can cross the road.
IQ and Hazaifa now, the 2 players remaining for 4 Thrives. Gaming Stars wanting to change that, wanting to take them down a notch or 2. IQ doesn't fall to the first nade and gets the flush over onto Maniac. Nades now being traded back and forth. Yusuf trying to dance around it, but dishes out a lot of damage to IQ, and a nade from up on high does manage to connect. Swash able to sweep it beside, and Hazaifa very, very low down. IQ now the last to stand. Swash on high. Does he have the angle? Not quite to connect there. And Yusuf, does he get the heal? No! IQ keeps them in the running, but for how much longer?
Swash Gaming Stars a couple more nades to work with here. He's just sending them in the slightly wrong direction. Needs a bounce on this. It's good damage, but it's not enough. Right now, Yusuf behind the smokes. Swash, a couple more nades to work with. 4 Thrives desperately hanging on, but that's not before Furia rocks up, starts to play.
They want to crunch this one down. 4 Thrives eliminated. Now Gaming Stars under a lot more pressure from this western side, playing under the sightlines of GOAT Team, but this cliff is keeping them nice and safe because GOAT Team don't have super hard control over this zone right now. They can't stop them pushing up on the south. It's a lot better over towards some of those other angles, but GOAT Team definitely a force to try and dislodge.
Ulf managed to make it up towards the slope here. They've got Geeke on their south, playing as 2. So got an even fight to work with. Ulf just needs to win this one, but playing uphill is a really difficult prospect for them. Got a need for to wait for this next circle so they can take the fight as they both rotate in. Because right now, Geeke just has superiority on that high ground. El Baril starting to wander up. Horror refusing to move.
Ooh.
And with a shift over towards the northeast side, this is some disgusting stuff for Horror. Nepal looking real strong.
Result, finishing anywhere in the top 4 blank would be beautiful for them to come.
Sky's 9 limbs. He's looking for the 10 of this game.
He's actually done as much or more than every other single team on his own. On his own right now.
Yes.
Fury are on 9 eliminations versus Sky. Who wins? Well, I have to give it to Sky right now.
A good first opening here from Gaming Stars over towards Furia. Southern should be pretty resable though. We'll see how Gaming Stars wants to approach this. Rolex has 8 grenades. I think I know how they're going to approach it. It's with ordnance. That dribble is crazy.
That looked so close, but I think it was just the other side of the cover. Unfortunate. A second to follow it up. Doesn't quite connect either. Furia, by rights, maybe should have gone down there, but somehow they were able to evade the damage. The shrapnel not quite getting around their cover that they had, and they will stay as 4, but they have to go further.
A hole-in-one there coming through from Gaming Stars. Would have been great if that nade dribbled a little bit further down towards them, really using the terrain to their advantage. Ulf now playing a 1-1 split. Scarface currently watching over towards Geeke. Ketch is already inside the circle. Ketch opens up over towards Jiggle. I mean, I don't know how good of an idea that is right now.
Spotted. It wasn't actually coming through from Horror, though, in response. Through from DK. There's trades going back and forth across most of the map here. The western side, I think, yeah, okay. Losing 2 players very, very quickly. As GOAT team now with their first real challenge to their position around the edge of this rock plank. The nades have already found an opener. They desperately want to get this one back under control, keep themselves alive. Furia aren't going to waste any time either on this south side. They know these nades are starting to find knocks, and they can take the alternate side. The difficulty there for Furia is that off angle coming through from 721. Horror are covered off from this one, but they have to go for a res, and GOAT team have got a challenge on their hands.
Good team desperately trying to recover. Fury around the side, Gaming Stars in front of them. They need to post these 2 teams up against one another and get some casualties in the process. Nade's been pulled by GOAT, wanting to take down at least 1 or 2 players from each squad, but the nades are going long. They're not quite sure how close they are, and it's Ayala who's doing more work over towards Furia than GOAT ever could. And with Force going down, this opens something up big here for Furia.
There's a real big opportunity, a really nicely played position as well. They let Gaming Stars go first. They actually sauntered in behind them, backfilled them, and forced them to go into an unfavorable fight. They know the angle is exposed to the north, where Otter is going to sit, as well as GOAT team, who would just lob those nades in. A real nice chokehold coming through from Furia.
7-2-1 doing their classic sit-it-out play. Get far into the game. You go down to 2, play on the edge. It's worked out for them. Seems to be working out here too.
Furia open up for the pick off towards 721. Of course, 2 players now left for 721. The first will go down. There is an answer though, and that shot does shut down cheap on the angle. Ayala wants to get stuck right in though in response. And will suppress GOAT team around the edge here. Furia and GOAT team, the 2 teams playing on this summit, but Horror have yet to step foot.
Sleepy saunters up on the north side of all of this. Igors finds focus, but Horror is in position to strike. Sleepy will find Force, knocks down Moxie. GOAT is in trouble.
Another nade over the top from Sleepy, posts it right into the gap, nearly finds 2, but they go very, very low. 1 player now standing alive for GOAT team, desperately trying to find those reses. Horror up to 16 eliminations now, Blank, and they are starting to crest this ridgeline. Furia have got all 4 players alive though, and they are all live and kicking, looking pretty healthy. GOAT team fall. They couldn't bear the pressure of maintaining that summit, and Furia are on 14 elims, Blank. The hot drop, hot shots from Horror did well in the early game, but Furia are a mounting pressure to deal with.
The rage is building in the boys. Now looking to take things a little bit further. The limbs nicely spread across the team. Everyone is warmed up and ready to go. A battle for PMGO Season 1 history here. If Horror is able to get the win, it's going to set themselves up in a massive way going through into tomorrow.
Theme is true for Furia though. And with 3 players alive on Horror, they do have the numbers advantage. Horror are also more exposed to those sneaky little snake angles from the solos. Ulf have Ketch still in action, and 721 still have their solo representative too. And those angles are more towards Horror.
Is the Fury has to peak first, and right now Horror's got a lot of high ground, a lot of control to work with. Without having the 2-man push either side of the mountain, like GOAT did, Horror is suddenly in this position now where they can live it out almost quite comfortably. But you are right. It's those backstabs that are going to be very nasty towards them. Ketch is coming through like a ninja alongside with Masku. Got to be careful.
I'm looking at the utility, Blank, and this is something that's quite interesting. Obviously, Otter earning a lot of their points rather, in the early game meant that they go to their looting phase afterwards and pick up those nades. Furia have been using their nades in this late game to pick up those points, which means they're only on 1 in the pocket. Horror, they're on 6, and that could be a massive difference maker.
Well, the big difference maker is that they had so many loot crates to grab on the high ground. There was all of GOAT to take out there and just pilfer through, and they've happily gone for that one. I'm sure there was still some left remaining on the side of GOAT team. Horror in a position to try and open up. They know Fury's got to come to them. They're all on the same side. Sky throws the first. It's a little bit too close, and the nades start to fly over the top here, but Furia, stay patient, stay calm.
Managed to find a second nade as well, which means they're onto the boxes. Can start to pilfer through them, potentially resupply a little bit better. Ora dead center on this circle, and Ketch yet to really step up for an engagement. Being so far downhill does mean that he's somewhat isolated, but sooner or later, either he is going to catch sight of Ora or Ora are going to catch sight of him. It's only a matter of time. Igor tries to roll forwards, get a little bit more info.
I mean, he's doing great here. He is pulling out nades from Ora that they desperately need. So now they're dead even on the nade count. Masku just going to deny the point outside. Will grab themselves a 4 for 9 eliminations. Not a bad first game for them. I think that might be the last nade coming through from Ora now. So they found another. Furia also down to 0.
Got those 3 Molotovs though. Of course, those smoke launchers not appearing. We don't have an exact count on exactly how much smoke these teams are playing with. Ketch, I mean, they should know that there's a solo survivor, and they are being wary. And I think this is a big part of why Ora hasn't started to get a little bit closer to this ridgeline. Next circle closes dead center blank. We're into the final stage. Ketch is still alive. Sky can't quite find the angles.
Oh, desperate for a second place here. Silence finds a good amount of damage with the DP. Now looking to move around the side. Emergency cover flare is giving a little bit of respite to the team. A big nade does a fair bit of damage. Do they have the meds, the supplies to get back on board? But for Ora, they're looking mighty fine in terms of the health count.
All right, if they clear this lobby, they get a 21 elim game blank. It is a potentially terrifying summit to try and battle against. Furia now, they're all grouped up. Luckily, there's no nades on side, and Ora are just going to have to shut it down with raw firepower, but they do have plenty.
Ketch just grabbed himself a P90, gifted by the loot crate. In comes Furia. They're just going to send a little bit further up here. Sky's on the first to face, but he has been magnificent today. Opens up with some massive damage. There's an evener. 3 versus 3, but a good pick off coming through. And Ketch also moving in with a P90.
Leaving Ora now just with Sleepy alive. Ketch is spotted on the back lines. He's down now, and a 3 versus 1. For Furia to run through. Ora denied at the very last. Maybe, unless they can find something miraculous here. Chief has gone down. Silence is low. Oh my goodness me! Sleepy stepping up. Igor now, a 1 versus 1. Ora to claim it. Ora to claim it. Where's the ammo? Can he find it?
Furia take
shut
it.
him down in the final moment, but it was down to the wire.
Felt very close there at the end. 2 Titans going against one another in those final moments. But Furia will pick up the first chicken dinner of the day despite an incredible, dastardly start coming through from Ora.
The magnificent point scorings to launch us into these finals blank. A huge hot drop coming through from Ora. Sky was a standout in those scrappy little engagements. Later on, if they'd have had that 4th player, if they'd have been able to get rid of Ketch, maybe.
Hey, maybe. P90 though, grabbing the level 3s as well, just the gift drop that you wanted. I respect Ketch for going for it. He was like, look man, I'm kitted out. I'm just running up. You can see Aaron there at the end smiling, showing off the POV from his side of things. So cool.
Beautiful stuff. Furia open up with a big chicken dinner on Rondo. They've got their fangs out.
Unexpected hot drop in Pochinki because of what you were talking about. Nick Galaxy's not here. Ida's not here as well. Who is going to be taking Pochinki?
We're gonna have some madness in Milta again. That was very random, right? Back in survival stage, but
Hopefully it doesn't
survive it. So maybe someone else is gonna look to try and contest that position away.
That's the way you win a grand finals, folks, is being able to adapt. And we've seen how much teams adapted in Rondo with stepping up the aggression overall. How are they going to adapt here at Erangel? And you can see Pachinki is looking wide open as we go ahead and take it on over to our casters, John Allen and Blake.
Okay, it looks like we've already got some action on some of those drops. Goat Teeth taking shots to players grabbing some vehicles, but in Pachinki, I thought 4 Thrives were going to go over there, Blank, but they've actually gone long on this one. And Pandem also seems to be on a split, so Pachinki maybe deserted this time around as we get another West Circle.
Oh, I think Pandem did think about going here beforehand. I think it is something that was agreed upon before this actually started. So Pandem wanting to take Pachinki early. I think a lot of people gave that one away. For BTR, on the other hand, Lepovka being their alt drop, that makes sense for them to go there. I think the big one was definitely Go as well as Geeke, because this is a team that we expected to clash over towards Nova Noya. I think for S2G, they get caught off guard there, because this is a weird drop from Go. Dropping Mini Milta is sort of out of the ordinary. I genuinely think it's because for Geeke going down to Nova Noya, Go's like, we'll give it a try. If it's not meant to be, we'll drop Mini.
Could have been, you know, maybe you have a backup dropper somewhere like Primorsk if your GOAT team, potentially. Obviously not based on any actual fact, but it's the sort of thing that maybe you were trying to go out there, but the plane path didn't really help you out on that location. You know there's going to be a lot of teams grabbing those vehicles, and it's going to be a difficult place to access. So yeah, I think Mini Milta more towards the edge than they were previously, a lot more central on that one, as BTR have made their way across that bridge to the east side of Georgia Pole. We'll actually send in towards the crate, send a scout out towards Everett as well. Random spots as they try and roll down the edge. As we hop back on board, we've got on our screens, DT Project doing a lot of damage, in fact able to find one, and Pandem are going down. Goodness me, what a lot of damage sent on their way. A flush, at least one has come on through, and another knock is there, but not quite enough. But there is an answer. Leon gets the flush.
Yeah, Pandem able to find effect there. He was sort of like the backstop that they sort of really did need in those final moments to step up tall. Not the case here, sadly, not the case. For Pandem, though, they get themselves on the other side of things. Down towards that south side, just on the edge of Swamp. Good shot coming through from Reefus, as well as Top. That was a coordinated assault.
Real hard hitter. TT Project go down. Aurora denied on their first match, but this time around looking to try and gather that pace back. They're up to 3 eliminations, Blank, and they do have their 4 players alive. They unfortunately, of course, went down fairly early on in that rondo, and the desk was looking for them to do a little bit better, to find a little bit of aggression into the early stages of that game, and they went down very early.
That they did. I think the TT Project going early down like this as well is pretty rough for them. It's a team that I think a lot of people banked quite a bit of hopes on. They have some real old members on this team who have been phenomenal in the past, with some added players that have come fairly recently. I mean, Neos, you could probably call him a veteran, I guess, but around about the last 3 years that he's really popped up and started doing a lot of work. I think I'm most sad not seeing Neos and Frieza on the same team, though. I mean, Frieza was just one of the best rookies in the world when it first came through. I think that title is very much in the hands of Eren at this point, though.
I don't know if we can count him as a rookie, though.
Oh, when he was on his up and up, I mean.
I see, yeah, okay, that's fair enough. A big Western shift, Blank, as we refocus onto the proceedings on this game. A massive Western shift. Keeps so much of that water rate on the west side, puts E-Arena in a very survivable spot. There is that sort of uphill threat from the positions out to the east of it, though. So the question is, how well can they hold on to that area?
Well, your biggest difficulty right now is that you have this horrible entry on the southern side. And a lot of teams did end up on this south side. A lot of teams didn't want to head all the way on that northern edge like BTR. So you're trying to get through this field. This big field here, John, is the major issue. Driving through it is a pretty horrid option at the end of the day, where a lot of teams will have sightlines over towards you, and Gaming Stars have set themselves up in a pretty annoying position for quite a lot of squads, where they'll be able to take shots as they move through. So what you're going to have is a big old traffic jam down towards the south side with 4 Thrives, Furia, Aurora, as well as Go, and even Ulf in this instance. It's a tough position to rotate in from.
I mean, Pandem's also got their 3 players still alive in the hook of that road. As we take a look, they shut down from the group of Doc. This was earlier on. A replay of how TT Projects got taken down. 2 teams really chiming in. Of course, Pandem able to hold their position, losing 1 player, but with Aurora being that counterpoint to it, just unweatherable. TT Projects do fall down earlier on. Ulf looking to try and make their way through it, and this is what you were talking about, this location on the south, so brutal. And they actually, for Ulf, may be looking to go through that open field.
Can wrap past Everest. I mean, that is an option here, but where do you go from there? It would have to be a bit of a mad send over towards Crates potentially, or even South George Apartments. Aurora gearing up to go now. Like we said before, a tough purchase on the circle to handle. Do they have the grip strength to make it through? Can they push themselves through this area of the map?
The south border of the buildings that 4 Thrives currently hold isn't really super protected. They don't have an immediate buffer, and maybe that's going to play well for them. Leaving this area first is going to draw the attention of Aurora, of Furia. So for 4 Thrives, playing with their south pair, it's a little bit tricky. Meanwhile, over on the east side, this is that position you were talking about being so annoying. It's the Gaming Stars. Ulf try and give them the slip around the east edge, but they've already lost 1.
I think for Ulf, what they wanted to do here is try and wrap up through this location, potentially send further north, and they're like, well, why don't we just play Radio Tower, right? We could try and pick up that spot. What you don't expect is a team to be already posted up here. Like, this is a very cool setup coming through from Gaming Stars, where they understand the geometry, they understand the map, and how this circle will force you into this location. And it's just 3 eliminations for them. That's what they're looking for.
Should be indeed. Ketch worried about the backstop. In the meantime, we hop over to another push. It's Aurora and Furia not quite able to make the impact that they wanted from that eastern side. Aurora able to rush them from the south, and now with all 4 players alive, maybe that's going to change, because Ayala, we see what he can do with his shotgun. It looked pretty before. It's a little bit more dire now, but he's already opened up for 2, and Furia are on 5 eliminations, looking to keep themselves going on the top of these tables.
But Pandem coming in from behind here, looking to find some more shots over that way. Doc says no as Leon's does go down. And now 4 Thrives also see this spot on the map. Ayala, 24 karat gold, S12K in hand.
Big west shift on this circle again. Blank keeps a lot of the water in. It is really nasty. And now this southwest compound is so important for 4 Thrives. They're onto a winner potentially here if they can keep their nerves nice and cool. It's what the desk was talking about yet again, right? These guys, they're so smart. They know what's up. 4 Thrives do need to be able to lose a rondo and then come back strong. This is their opportunity.
I think they looked a little bit more comfortable on the stage today too. This is going to be the litmus test for it. Good nade from top. Doc and Top. Kind of a legendary duo in the game at the moment on side for this squad. All the way back from APG. Bozy will find a knock over towards Sleepy as well. But if we look over towards the northeast side of the map, goodness me, BTR, Boom, Aura, as well as Flash, all have to fight off against one another.
It is starting to pop off. Aura now down to 2 players. They try and move their way south. A difficult approach for them on that angle. The nades still getting cooked on this compound. Trying to find their way in, but Ayala and Silence are putting all assaults to bed. Just not quite easy enough to make their way up. Ooh, a nasty little crash coming on through. I think that might be Aura crashing into Ulf, and I think Ulf have just been able to win that.
They hold on.
Pretty handily, nicely found, and keeping all 3 players alive as well.
Nice nade, goes between them. Doc goes down. Ayala will take a knock as well. Silence looks to finish and can do it, but Pandem looking to make their entry now.
With 1 player going on for it. It's Silence to hold, but there is Goat Team helping out. He steals the point for them as well. Able to hold just a little bit longer. 2 players now, they hop the window. What are you doing? Silence is all too ready for that. And Panda now with 1 player on the outside. They have been sent dizzy with an off angle.
The DPS making a comeback, it seems, here for Silence. And he's not going to stay quiet here for long. Looks to go loud on this one. Last player moves up. Silence has to hold here. Ayala's still down. Wasn't able to get the res. Goes round the corner and will finish it. Once again, Furia opens up with a legendary comeback from the start of the game from Ayala versus S2G. Now through to Pandem.
Up to 10 eliminations to Furia, but we're on board with BTR. 4 of their players alive, and they are racking up the knocks over towards Geeke. A nade on the bounce. Doesn't look super hot, but in comes a third party from Boom. It looks like the Indonesians have a problem with Geeke.
Yummy.
Sent their way.
That is not tasty at all. Razy looking to move around the side, but it's off angles all day, every day here for every team inside of the lobby. Another goes down. Geeke's upstairs. Boom might have bitten off more than they can chew.
Now 1 player left for Boom. It's El Barrel trying to get his teammates back on in. Geeke trying to keep their heads down as much as they can. Ragnarok surviving or looking to either way. And now with 1 player on the top floor, Arena are moving in on the high ground. More nades, more damage going to pour on through. And Bigatron look to take control and keep it.
Molotov in, and they will burn away the hopes of Boom of getting into this match any further. BTR looking good once again. 6 elims on this game. Looking to make up from that bad rondo.
Another nade in. They're trying to get rid of Ragnarok now. You might have been quiet, but we know where the mouse is hiding. And the nade from Razak blasts them out of the match.
It's a 1-2 punch. Same setup, 2 different buildings. BTR make it look easy. Flash though. Really strong squad with 3 players still up on this ridge side towards the E. 7-2-1. They're surviving. One thing they're insanely good at. OZ will find catch, and now we're just down to Aaron. Can't count this guy out just yet, though. This is the man, the 1v4 BTR earlier on in the tournament.
It's right on the edge of this circle, Blank. Doesn't quite have the same sort of position. And BTR taken off. For Furia, this is brilliant, right? With Aura going down, not really getting anything done here. They've got 10 eliminations. Any single placement point, any single extra elimination that they find is going to be great. But he's on a mad dash right now. And yeah, okay, he will fall. But they do get that placement point, which puts them 14 points in the lead already in match 2.
I mean, 37 on match 2 is an absolute banger of a game. Like, this is the type of scoreline you see come match 3, maybe even match 4, to be honest.
And you need back-to-backs or something like it.
We saw even, yes, on survival stage, teams not being able to get 37 points over 6 matches.
That is really quite the impact they've had. And the fact that they were able to get 10 eliminations out of the situation they were in is pretty incredible stuff. But they will go no further here, and we're going to have the winner in match number 2. I think someone knows now, because Eren is taking a hefty punch back and forth. Somehow the ankle's not getting clipped. Goat team, actually. Okay, helping out, and a nade from Eren flushes out Hazaifa.
Being stepped up, he kept quiet. Still 4 nades left remaining for any push that might come anytime soon. Black back up on his feet. 4 thrives. They needed this one. They were in a good spot towards the beginning, but haven't been able to quite convert here. Like you say, Eren right on the edge of the circle, nowhere to go either. Wondering how many smokes he has left remaining to try and make this push, but do you think that Ulf might be going down pretty soon? Not a terrible match, though. Not a terrible match.
Goat team again in a pretty solid spot. Well, I say solid. It's on the beach, right? So they've got a little bit of cover.
Oh, it is now.
Okay, it's a really solid spot. That is a hell of a shift out to the west side. But can they hold it? They couldn't on Rondo. They had that central pillar to play around. This time, it's a lot more linear.
Smokes did get dropped here, but they are starting to run out. The mist starting to wane for Eren. Might be exposed real soon. Quickly tucks himself back in, but got the longest road to go. An opener towards Goat, though, John.
Okay, potential inroad here. BTR, they want to try and sweep the beach clean. As Goat team need an answer. Not quite finding that first knock. They roll up and 3 players to handle. Looks like they could for 1 and 2 as well. The off angles need to put in the work, need to do the business, and they do desperately want to find these knocks and flushes over towards BTR, but they're starting to hide, and there's third-party angles that they've got to worry about too.
Axel gets taken down on the back line. E-Arena looking to backfill on this one. It is resible here for BTR to get players back up again. What a horrific area of the map to play. This might just be going earlier than we thought. Aaron moves up, but Flash needs to move. 7-2-1 will find him on the cross. 4 Thrives, they get themselves in, and GOAT's position is manhandled by the lobby.
Goodness me, they've only got 1 elimination for it as well, Blank. It's the second game in a row that this has happened to them. They will fall down entirely, and their west side position looked mighty, but it was just a little bit too open, and teams took brilliant advantage of it. Now, we're left in a situation where only E-Arena are a 4-player team on the north side, then look at a march down. Team Flash still trying to get stuck in, but it's only Win left. Not going to mean that he's going to be out of it just yet, although will fall finally. A shutdown, and Team Flash go out.
E-Arena starting to sweep now, looking for more and more players. They've got a healthy squad. Schweppes moves in, scouts out BTR's spot. They are still struggling, and the rest of E-Arena is recalled to the position. Razak, last left alive. It's not happening for them, and now E-Arena trying to end the game early.
But 4 Thrives have had much more time to get entrenched onto this position. E-Arena don't want a slice of it, and they're leaving. Head back to the east side of the road. I mean, get rid of 7-2-1. They have more info on that. They're ready for it. 7-2-1 maybe a little bit slow to get up and backfill onto E-Arena. That's seemingly what they were worried about. But this hillside back under control for E-Arena.
Instant wrap back from E-Arena. Very, very nice stuff. Heads up plays coming through from this team. Look to go for a 2-2 split now. Just about saw the forehead there from Falak before he ducked back into cover. But they've got info on it, and that's the main thing. Good nade will take down the first over towards Alaku. Tourniquet opens up with a big one.
2 more players on spot there for 7-2-1, of course, with only 3 players remaining. IQ not going to be able to land the shots, and Schweppes actually moving all the way in. Another nade from Joker takes Rehan down and gets the flush as well. And now just 1 player left standing. He's going to have to go out to the open blank. Schweppes already sweeping through with a lovely little rotate out on wide. Will go down though. He's still got a little bit more life left in him. And an aid from 4 Thrives might just change the tune. But that leaves the arena on 3. And 4 Thrives now with 12 nades.
4 Thrives with the entire armory at their back. 12 nades, 3 smokes, 3 mollies. They're good to go. E-Arena lost that advantage they had with the 1 extra player. So Tourniquet has to hit some banger shots now. Balak exposed for just a second, but not too long.
A nade. Oh, doesn't quite clip Joker. Maybe a second later and it would have done. He was rolling forwards there. Another on spot. Falak has yet to go for the heal. Has to drop down and look for it. Joker with a really nice angle, but they don't have the zone.
Norman tries to go for the shots over the top side there. Very ambitious play from him, but if he hit them, would have probably sparked the arena into action, because they have been roaming. They have been roving over this map so far.
A lot of ammo in the tank here for E-Arena, but again, this road crossing is so treacherous. There is really not a lot to play around. They just about have, I mean, they've got a crate to use as cover potentially. But 4 Thrives, they're playing up on the beachhead. They have got a lot of terrain cover, a lot of open, broad angles for E-Arena to worry about. If Mormon can find IQ, that is when E-Arena could go.
Mormon waiting now. A moment to strike. And these players, it's small dips, divots that are keeping 4 Thrives alive here. But E-Arena start to move in. They're putting the pedal to the metal.
In they go immediately, and the nade doesn't quite get the job done. IQ has the backup. They're moving in at 4 Thrives, have a linear fight to approach, and E-Arena are going low. The spray down the bounce on the nade, doesn't get the re-knock, and now it's just Mormon. They tried to line up 4 Thrives, but it was all too much. And T24 now, they've got the bead on him, they've got the circle, and Mormon without a chance in this match.
Falak moving forward, scouting out the spot, but I don't think they've got anything left. And it's a crazy nade from IQ to finish the game. Pakistan takes a chicken dinner here in the grand finals.
With their backs to the water, they come up for a breath of fresh air, and that is exactly what they needed to find. Off the back of a soggy rondo, they emerge from the ocean and find themselves a powerful chicken dinner on that west side.
especially on the plane path. I mean, Kameshki's fine. They can wrap north over Stalbert, try and play him from there.
Project on the north side of Stalbert. Muddy that bit, but if they got on fast, then it may open up as well. Aurora, they drop all the way down late in towards the military base, have yet to make their move. Get across these bridges, and you'd hope fairly quickly to actually see it. He's just doing target practice, don't worry. You'll get some practice on board. Might be more worthwhile though to go and try and find a helmet though.
Yeah, potentially. Giving it large. I think for Aurora, right now it's all about just getting as much loot as possible before they head out, because they will definitely need utility later on before they head into this one. Gaming Stars didn't end up clashing with Fourth Rise, they just passed on by. No contest, which is nice to see. 7-2-1 also starting in North Georgia. So they can move over towards that eastern side, but BTR taking a real long split right now, playing over towards the compound that sits on the coastal edge of the northern side of the map, just east of Zaki, and they also control that compound that's on the coastal side, northwest of Stalba. So a lot of place to play. TT Project just helping one another out here, getting the vehicles.
Are you sure they're all roadworthy? A little bit of a tap there. Bring everyone under control. Pandem, with their position in Pachinki, should be looted thoroughly now. They take on the loot truck as well. Looks like they want a little bit more before they leave the town. Or rather, maybe they don't want anyone else to get the loot truck, which is probably more reasonable.
Hey, I mean, you always want the loot truck no matter what happens. Very, very good loot on board with it. Level 3s sometimes can be found in here too. Default settings, much more likely. So you already hear Dimsy with the level 3 vest and level 3 helmet.
MG3, I believe. Was that the MG3? Gotten already. Either way, a lot of loot being funneled over towards Pandem. Now they have to make their route north, though, so they have to put that to the test. This is on board with BTR, who are on this sort of odds 2-2 split that you were talking about, right? 2 players out to the east, 2 players out to the west. That West Point did regroup to the north side of Severny, but that other duo yet to fully regroup. But it looks like they might be going for a scouting mission is probably what they were looking for on that.
Yeah, just making no teams actually crossing over the top side of Darky here. Tops will find Neos from TT Project. Losing 1 player early, but they've lost Bozy as well. Bozy being a tremendously good player for the team. Coming up clutch over in their group. Crazy moments from him. The rest of the team will be moving out.
I feel like that we aren't seeing the same team flash from survival stage though here. I was hoping that maybe they would be able to play that raggedy edge style that took so much control over the rest of the lobby. But
totally different lobby though. That's the thing.
Absolutely right, and maybe it's just not going to work out here. I don't even feel like they've been trying to go for it though.
It's hard. I think most of the area towards the center of the map is just taken. Most of the time when they're trying to play out on the edge, it's so difficult after that point to make their way in. They are playing on the edge here. Furia. Igor saved by a reload coming through from Kedge. Those shots felt very much on target.
Climbing there for Furia to stay up as 4. May have been difficult to get that res actually if he goes down in that spot. It's too far down the hill. You're in so many sight lines. Was that the player?
Yeah.
It was. Oh dear. Gaming Stars controlling the bridge crossing over that central island, and you can have all the loot truck you want, but it's not going to matter if you lose your players too early. And that's exactly what happens to Pandem. Gaming Stars looking to camp this one in.
Why not? I think Gaming Stars, they have had a tremendous step up from a team that's relatively unknown in terms of players. Being here on the main stage and just holding their own versus some of these top squads has been very, very nice to see. Even some of the fights that they've been taking, it hasn't felt like they were floundering. A lot of times feeling like they had this really good idea of what they wanted to do next, how they wanted to go about it. I think it's been impressive for this team. And look at that spray down. Like, that is a fast vehicle to track.
Nails it. Real nice stuff coming on through. And maybe for losing another. He's right out into the spray that he just faced down. Maybe worried about the vehicle's tyres getting off there, not super safe, but not too sure on the decision there from Leon to step out that way.
Yeah, maybe Adren first as well, potentially. Circle does move down towards that southwest, so we do have center island between the river in play. It's a little bit more leaning towards that northern side, so teams are still pretty happy with their rotation towards the north, but the likes of Gaming Stars, they're very happy to hang out around Boatyard.
Still maintain a lot of pressure from that south side. Yet to see teams really push towards that west edge flank, close towards Ruins, maybe even up towards Everest, but you've got teams who are rotating in late, like Aurora, who have just about come level with Pachinki, and do need to go a little bit further, who could potentially take up a position like that.
Four Thrives inside their building. On the southeast side, we've got some tremendous energy in the arena today, by the way. Nice to have the crowd alongside with us, as always. Yeah, I mean, you're not hitting that. He hit some, but getting the full confirm on it, very unlikely. Save the ammo.
Okay, trying to roll in on the south side of Rozhok, leading the charge with the hovercraft there. Nice little point break for them. Find actually the remnants of Pandem here on the menu. We're going to roll all the way up, and immediately that first shot comes on through. However, it's more than likely that they're going to divert and assume that's a 4-player squad up there.
Well, I think for Geeke, it's just really easy to rotate in with the hovercraft, right? It's a super easy thing to do, get a lot of information. The thing's tanky as all hell, so you can afford just to rock up. Arena takes some shots over towards 7-2-1. 7-2-1 losing players doesn't really worry me too much, though, because I feel like this team plays best as 2.
Sometimes, you know, you just get that little bit more freedom to say, you know what, we're not really playing for the win here. Let's just win these fights, see what we can get. And that can be a pretty fearsome opposition to come up against. Hopefully they can grab some of that power, some of that momentum. But Pandem on the north side of Rozhok, they can stay alive for a little while. While yet, no team's really going to be too much of a danger from the north side just yet. I don't think anyone wants to send into Rozhok, so for me, I think Pandem do have a long time left in this lobby, probably at least 10 minutes.
Okay, Ulf getting into position. Yeah, still is 4. Scarface a little low here, but should be very recoverable. Currently just trying to clear out the northeast side of the lobby. They've got Goat coming in, flash down towards their southeast, passing by Yaz Bridge. See what they can get done with this. Is a very nice position to hold out teams that are trying to take any of these bridge crossings on the eastern side of the map. But similarly, they don't really have a central spot here, so do worry for Ulf overall.
Approaching it just got tougher for Ulf. Goodness me, that east side is looking so messy. And Blank, Boatyard's looking great right now on that south edge. You've got Aurora as well. Look at that split that they've got at the moment, obviously coming in late towards this circle from that south side. They've got control over so much of this, and they have the pick of the litter when it comes to spots.
Definitely benefits you in a big way here for these squads. For Aurora, they can pick up Castle. They've got an outpost over towards that northwest side. They're fairly certain teams aren't going to be coming over towards them. Furia taking shots as they rotate through Aura. They just need to keep teams at bay around them. So accurate shots are super helpful to divert teams, right? Corral them like sheepdogs.
Trying to make it work. Furia on the road. Looking to be safe, actually, in their pursuit. As we hop over to 4 Thrives, and it's okay to go down first as Hyper wins the challenge and sits down for a second. S2T not able to stop him doing what he wants here. Hyper doing bits. 7-2-1 and Goat Team clash too.
7-2-1. Goat Team in position. Rahan pulling off some miracles once again.
Faster stand for them. A nade, that might be the end of them. Doesn't quite get the knock or the flush, which means this res can come through, but they're stepping back into another nade.
No!
Oh, it's looking nasty. And they both go down to it. A long lob on that one. And Focus takes down 7-2-1 in second place.
I mean, for 7-2-1, it's been a lot of living, right? It's been a lot of living from this squad. Kind of playing out a little bit cautiously. Like I said in the past, for 7-2-1, their playstyle is not going to win them a tournament. But it's certainly going to get them tables, and this is great experience overall. Silence goes down first. They're playing underneath the bridge here. That nade isn't quite good here from Solus. Needs to get it to dip a little bit more, so he backs up just slightly. That one, well, I don't know what to say about that one.
Not quite as on target, but the fact that Ulf have managed to get here, Blank. Remember, they were all the way out on the east side, on the north of the river. They now have a really good surround on this bridge position. They got one player towards the south, and Stolas, I think, is in a lot of danger there. It's likely that he may not see out the entirety of the match, but in this position for now, Ulf have a lot of control.
Well, Stolas needs to play that spot. In the meantime, BTR rocking over towards TT Project. TT Project in a little bit of trouble here. One player already down, and now Ephius outside in the blue as BTR looks to move up, and they are surrounding.
Ooh, and they're not quite finding it, and there's just so much pressure to be felt. Zerich goes down last, and he takes one of them out, but this zone is resolvable, but not for much longer, Blank. They're going to have to get in the vehicles and move forwards, and BTR want to stay as 4, and Aura are in the way.
Or on a big split, they are looking for any targets that they can find on the northern side. No way this circle drops down towards the south once again, keeps Boatyard in, but centralizes that island.
I think at the moment, I'm looking at Ulf, right? It needs to be a regroup coming through from Eren. I don't think that they can withstand that as a solo in the position that he's in, with Irina there, with the rest of GOAT team there, with Aura, BTR, Aurora all on the north side. I feel like Ulf may need to consolidate.
Ulf definitely need to pull back together here, but how do you get Eren back across towards you? Island finish would be phenomenal here at PMGO. And the grand finals, Ayala though opens up over towards Solus. He was the one protecting them from these players. Hasn't gone down yet though, but how do they pick him up?
And I'm losing another player, they're now down to 1. This is on the exit from Rosok, they have to shimmy west. Boom. Yet to leave. They know there's another player here, which makes it dangerous to try and step out of Rosok, move towards the hills on the west side of it. But one more player to handle. Amiren. A nice nade over the top, does figure out the position of the player, and now 2 players going to roll down a challenge. Won't go this way. That is a nice little cleanup coming through from Boom.
Eren in the meantime cracks Ayala. Will find the shot. BTR get put down on the approach to Aura, like you were saying, and a cross angle coming through from Aurora. Eren started off in a big way here versus Furia. More damage coming through. Scarface needs to hit these nades. Nice shot from Eren from up on top on such low HP. A critical moment. Chief, the backstop there, now down, and Furia's in a spot above her.
Oh, and nades are pouring in from the duo of Ulf, who sit on this side of the river. The drop back, and the nades are coming from all angles. Furia fall, and they are down now with 37 points. Potential for Aura to jump on up, and potential for Ulf to join them.
Ulf is now in an incredibly good spot here. I think they're getting the res off. I think they did just grab it in the midst of all that. He was bleeding out the entire time. Really, really dangerous coming through for Ulf, but they make it happen. And now they have full control over center circle. Oda now looking over towards E-Arena. They're passing on through. 2 teams that need to take control of the north side. They've got GOAT, the Remnant, down towards the south.
They crashing in on the south edge. Boom, trying to make their way in, but it's such a hard wall to come up against here. They crash 2 more after getting the first flush, and will look for the rest of Geeke. The drop down not going to go his way, as El Beryl still just rolling up these stairs, trying to take the rest of Geeke with them. They had a scrap with them before, one in through the window. Okay, they're going to slip right past one another there, and it's a bit chaotic on the inside. Boom now down to 1, and Geeke not getting the answers that they need.
El Beryl with the AKM, still using the 7.62 to his advantage. Takes a fair bit of damage, has to dip back. Last first aid kit for him. Last chance for Boom up against Geeke.
Steps into the fight once more, nade down the stairs, could be all it takes, but the spray down looks tight. El Beryl not going to walk into it though. Another challenge, the nade starting to run dry, you'd imagine. He's still got the one in the pocket. Where's he going to put it though? I feel like might be a little bit of a waste here. Not going to find anything.
We are getting an island finish.
Oh no.
We are dropping towards the island here. Water abound, surrounding on all sides. You're going to have to pull up the drawbridge here because we've got a moat.
Huge moat. EK still struggled to dispatch the final player from Boom. The bounce down the stairs, maybe enough.
How's he lived that?
Just slipped past it, just about able to shoulder out the way. The Forthrives are going to rock up into the engagement. It's been nasty up till now, but it's getting harder. Doc helps them out. Oh no, hang on a minute, it's Gaming Stars who are helping them out. IQ and Hazaifa both fall, and Boom are still in this one.
For Gaming Stars, you just wonder why we're not aggressing on this. There's a lot of space you can pick up for yourself. Ulf moves over to try and capitalize on the fight happening on that northern side between Aurora as well as E-Arena.
Are really chiming in on this, and E-Arena come out the victors of that fight, but Ulf are looking to move through. They smelt that blood in the water. A little bit more damage would be all it takes. Back on board with our garage engagement. Forthrives with 2, GK with 2 as well. El Beryl just trying to find anything he can. Pokes his nose up the stairs. I mean, that's a real risk. Ragnarok, though, trading nades up and down. El Beryl back to the front room.
El Beryl stuck in the midst of these 2 squads. Somehow the healthiest out of all of them. I don't know how that's happened. AKM Hall he's got for these close engagements. The nade's close, El Beryl lived it, but remember, no more first aid kits.
Very, very low. The bandage is there, and he will fall down. Forthrives now into a 2 versus 2. Falak charging forwards first. Geeke on the top floor. They should know that there are still players here. They should know. Doesn't feel like they're acting like it, though, as GOAT team line up an off angle across the river.
Flash, in the meantime, able to silently swim across, scuba gear into action. Forthrives coming off themselves a chicken dinner. Now looking to push a little bit further here. Good nade should confirm the flush on that one.
Ooh, Falak as well, turning the corner immediately. Waiting on the door frame now. Last player from Geeke and taking shots from the off-angle. Gaming Stars with the assist. And it is another point picked up, coming through for Forthrives, who are looking to charge up the tables, but it's about Ulf right now, Blank. I feel like they are in such a solid spot. It's going to be so tough to deal with them.
They're taking out a lot of the main contenders there as well. With Flash moving across, they're able to take shots towards them with the help of S2G. That's yet another team cleared. For Ulf, they're on 8 eliminations this game. They can push very far up the tables. And for them, this has been a very difficult rotational path to get towards this location. And I think they've handled it fairly magnificently. For Solus as well, took his opportunity, took his task to heart in terms of holding down the guys from Furia. Yes, he gave his life for it, but you've got the likes of Eren, who were able to pop off in those moments.
That solo position for Eren was absolutely pivotal, you're right. Being on that open ground, on that off angle, getting rid of Furia from it as well, and a really timely regroup as soon as they went down. The circle does shift right on top of this island again, Blank, so the North duo for Ulf can start to think about regrouping. The great news is that they have so much control over this area, they can just freely move around it in a way that nobody else is going to be able to.
The real issue for Ulf right now is they want to play on this bridge spot, right? It gives them a lot of cover from a lot of the other teams, but it means you're lacking vision on some of these coastal negotiations, right? These embankments where teams are going to swim underwater, they're going to get close to you, and suddenly there'll be different teams in the midst. So for Ulf, they need to be very aware that this area could get super compact very quickly. And how do they want to deal with that? They know that there's at least 2 teams on the north side. So maybe they deal with that first. They try and create a barricade over towards the northern edge of the circle, try and swipe across. You already see Scarface starting to swim out.
And what S2G are off the mark as well, with 2 players looking to go pretty deep into this one, and with 1 player on the island. They have more than most can attest to onto this one. Gaming Stars also looking to expand their influence on the south edge. Forthrives, unfortunately, they lost those 2 players on the run-up, but they're playing as 2, have to move once more. Get across, but yeah, okay. It was only a matter of time before someone spots them. I'm surprised that E-Arena hasn't taken shots either. Even as a solo, Mormon will have the ability to just take GOAT team out.
Moment, yeah, should get some free points off the back of this one, but Forthrives with a super long shot downrange for Lack. We'll find that. And that puts Forthrives up into the top 5 here in 2nd place on the leaderboards.
Beautiful stuff. They're looking to charge the top title. With 37 points, Furia, though, still a bit of a distance away. Chicken dinner would put them over the top there. Falak looking to try and get rid of as many players from Gaming Stars as he can, but it's a very tall order, Blank, and the far side of the bridge is going to start to chime in too, because no one's really starting to control that east flank anymore.
Wolf starting to flex out a little bit. I think they're realizing there isn't any more teams left on that northern edge now. Force goes down, Ketch will pick that one up from a very, very long back line. Nice.
Oh, Falak for the first opener. The shotgun shut down there.
Gaming Stars are injured.
They absolutely are. They've taken a knock from another angle as well. They are starting to suffer. Only one player on 2 different points, and S2G have got both sides of this river covered. They've got a player on that boatyard area as well as on the central island. I don't know if they're aware of Yusuf. I think they may well be now. You can see there is a trade back and forth, and now Fourth Rise can move along this one until Ulf start to march in.
Fourth Rise just trying to confirm the points off the back of this. Hamzy G, player with a lot of renown in the game. Now looking to find some more shots, some more points for S2G, because anything counts at this point in time. They've already like 4x their amount of points they had from the beginning of this one.
Real great results compared to what they found before. That circle does take us just off of the south coast as well, which means Gaming Stars have the lead. Fourth Rise looking across as well. There's the first on the lineup, getting another knock. Falak looks for more as well, but that's the answer, and that's the worry from Ulf. They can start to move forwards and encircle everybody trying to cross. I don't see anyone but Ulf taking this.
Ulf's been so careful. They've pretty much commandeered the entirety of the northern side of this island. They cleared out everything methodically. Now they know that there is nothing on this northern side. They can completely overwhelm the bank. Fourth Rise does go down at the hands of Ketch, a previous MVP of days gone past, but this man is now working his way up to be back at the top with the best.
S2G up into a second place, but already losing one of them. And this is magnificent stuff coming through from Ulf. With one player left standing, Hamzy's on the far side, does need to cross, doesn't have any way to do so. A big opener onto Eren, may be able to find it, but now position is given away. They know exactly what they're playing against, and there is no way that he's going to be able to find it.
Good shot.
Eren pins into the back wall there, and Ulf line up a staircase for them to climb those tables nice and fast.
They should be zooming towards the top of the tables there alongside with Fury and the likes of Fourth Rise. That's a big gain for them. We know Ulf can do it. This team is extraordinary in terms of the talent they have on board. Some wild players from across the region of Turkey all coming together as this Turkish super squad. Great to see them actually performing on the main stage.
Absolutely. Fourth Rise as well did very well late into that match, Blank. They got up into the top 3. I think they had 8 elims as well. I think they pushed past 30 points off the back of that game. So a great result for the Pakistani team, as well as for Ulf, and as well as S2G, right? If nothing else, it was a little momentum builder. If they can keep that going, we know what they can do on Marathon.
It's so funny seeing the guys from Ulf, because I remember all these guys in the past. I remember them with very different faces. They're all grown up now, but they're looking
It does. Taking a look at this game, we'll zero back in again. Kind of go through the proceedings as they happen. Right now, we already have Pandem making their way over towards the western side of the map. We've got Gike coming up short just underneath E Arena, who started around this location. 7-2-1 starting out very, very well in North Georgia, and likely won't be pressed for quite a bit of time here. The Fourth Rise making a very, very early exit from the south side of the map around Ferry Pier. Makes sense to me.
Nicely found. Boom, they're leaving from Rostock right now through Boatyard as well. Gaming Stars, they were a pretty terrifying force from that Boatyard position in the last match. This time around, they're pushing in from that south side behind Fourth Rise in that quarry area. We'll have to push in on the south or on the west. Luckily, all of these teams are going to be so used to how to navigate this area and how other teams are going to want to play it.
Absolutely. It makes sense. I mean, given the 3 days of tournament we had before this, it's not a lot of time to get your research in, but you did have a lot of time to kind of zero in on a couple of these teams, you know, take a microscope to them, figure out what their rotational paths are, which is why probably was a little bit of a stressful day on that day off between Survival Stage and Grand Finals, because for a lot of the teams and players, they were up till like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. just studying these rotations.
I mean, as they should, right, at this level. Although you do need to make sure you get your sleep, come in looking refreshed and feeling good. I mean, it's better, I would imagine, for teams that qualified in day one, right? Group A, top 6. Those are the teams that are going to be coming into this one looking freshest. I mean, and maybe that's why Aura did so well over in Rondo, right? They had that length of time to really give it a good go. As we take a look at a head-to-head between two of our top teams, you can see some standout players, Ayala and Ketch.
I think the most interesting thing here is the 23 minutes 32 average survival time, which means Ulf's been getting very deep into pretty much every single game today, which I find is kind of surprising. I thought the Fury would be a little bit further up there, but no, not meant to be. Ulf has just been a little bit more consistent. And our top 5 damage dealer, Aaron, is certainly up there, just ahead of Sky by 8 points.
I mean, that in itself is surprising with what Sky was able to do in that first match.
1.7k? Yeah.
It was pretty brutal stuff coming through. Obviously, it feels like those are running totals, right? Over the course of the group. I'm not sure about the survival stage, because that would give some players more games than others. So I don't imagine that it includes survival stage.
You'd hope not.
You'd hope not, indeed.
Most teams are making their way in now. And if we're taking a look at this one, we're kind of waiting for stage 2 because this could easily come down towards Everest, in which case Pandem's already got a good setup on this one. Boom, taking quite a bit of damage, and Octa is out in the open. Tops goes for the reload, looks for a little bit more. One shot will do the trick.
I like this position for Team Flash. I think that it's what I said I was missing from them from their survival stages, being a little bit more towards the edge of things and trying to sweep on through. On the north side of everyone, they are currently now the only team who is in the north side of this river, so they will have that sweeping opportunity. Crossing, however, maybe another story. As we're on board with Furia, 4th Rise are clashing. It's going to be a difficult push across because Aurora are here to play. Falak is down and knocked out. 2 players down now for 4th Rise. Aurora rinsing them.
Absolutely. The 4th Rise, they ran through Furia, took a lot of damage there, ran through Aurora, and they took some more shots, so seems to be a tale of 2 tales here for 4th Rise, where on one hand, we're able to recover after a bad game. On the other hand, we're having bad games.
But then they have another recovery in the next game.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Then it's all up there. Whoa, okay. Team Flash, what do you got to hold this river? This river crossing is going to be so, so important. How do you regroup on this? Do you want to even hold on the river? Send further forwards towards the north, because it's very likely going up there now.
I mean, Team Flash, they're not even going to bother try and hold it. I can't imagine they're just going to try and get deeper into this one. They left a couple of backstops behind, anchors to provide information as things went on through in terms of proceedings. The rest of the team should regroup over towards shooting range eventually, but this is so many squads all rotating in at the same time. You had some teams take a slightly different approach. That's the likes of Boom, BTR, Ulf, S2G, as well as GOAT now rotating on the eastern side, hoping to find a little bit more of an opening over there.
Not too many openings, though, especially when everybody else is trying to move. Team Flash now with their first challenge on the north side, and Horror, Pandem struggling to get down from the top of Everest as well. And into the crates, Geeke able to do so much work against them, and Pandem, once again, down to 2 players fairly early. I am still looking at the north side, Blank, and Team Flash have yet to actually take the engagement with Aura, or BTR, or Boom, indeed.
Through from Geeke, taking down Pandem, like you say. The rest of Pandem, they're stuck on top of Everest, and they've got to make their way down, but as a 2-man, this is a very difficult crossing to take. 4th Rise also set up as 2 over towards Box Compound. Definitely find some eliminations from there. E-Arena has been fairly consistent. You know, there's not been hugely banger games outside of that Aaron goal. But overall have been looking good. Ulf down by 1 player.
Took a little scrap over on the east side with S2G. We're playing on as 4. And S2G get the priority rotate from the southeast side. Ulf have to wrap around a lot further out to the east, but they will push in close to Bigatron. We did see as well a knock and a flush come through over on towards Gaming Stars from E-Arena. Team Flash, who have had the most mobility of any team in this lobby right now, the most options, they were the only ones north of the river, have still just stayed on this spread, and they haven't found any points for it just yet.
Boom. Moving forward, 14 points. It's not bad. For Pandem, this is kind of scary because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but I was speaking to LaFlame last night, RRQ coach, and he was saying that Pandem basically need to get top 9 to make it through to EWC. Boom need to get top 3. Now for Pandem, already not looking great.
I think Max has the stats on that. We'll tune back in with the desk in terms of qualification spots for EWC. Hopefully they can enlighten us on. But we are going to
ask about it when we pass across.
Yeah, exactly. In our brief moment of interaction, we'll be able to see him. See what we can see. Boom on that northern line already. The circle does crunch in pretty nastily, I think it's safe to say, Blank. Not enough of the south side to prompt a full rotate down to the south. A lot of North George is in there, but a lot of the fields that sit to the north of there as well.
Well, a lot of teams are already coming in from the east. So they're not going to have to worry about those fields for just a little bit. And a lot of teams kind of want to play along that ridge side. I think Aura's already got really good control over that area of the map. BTR is contesting it.
Everybody dashing towards the east point of North George. Fourth Rise are having a real tough time. S2G able to pick up another point or two on that location, but there's a little crash happening. GK with another challenge. It's going to be curtains for Ulf, seemingly. They are taken down now to just one player left alive. They've had a real tough time of it. They will fall. They are out. Furia now with a chance to accelerate into the lead without Fourth Rise or Ulf weighing them down.
That is a surprising result right at the start of the game there. You're 2 out of the top 3 going out in the first 12 minutes of the match. Not a single point to be found. That's going to feel rough because you've just come off such a good game, looking to increase that lead further, but not able to push that momentum through. Very, very sad stuff. But like you say, for the Brazilian squad, they are in prime position to overtake. Unfortunately, they're on the southeast side of the map, very close to Aurora. Pandem, Flash as well, but there comes Silence.
All right, well, they were close to Aurora. I think Aurora are going to try and put as much distance between them and Furia as possible. So Furia have punched a little hole in the southeast side. Team Flash still yet to fully regroup. They are going for it, however, with Pandem actually, as 2, managed to get all the way north there, Blank. Okay, they've found some sort of a path all the way on into this one. But Aura on the north side and BTR as well, who love this slow northern wraparound.
Taking it in their stride right now. With BTR, they're very aware of this area. It's where they took down RRQ before. Studying this area very, very much so for that little sneak attack over towards them. But BTR does hear the shooting and looks to send the nose in over towards Aura. Remaining members of Pandem, and is Aura ready for this?
Pandem, they're sending off as solos at this point, it feels like, and just trying to find a little cubby hole, try and keep your head down, keep your nose clean if you can. Maybe regroup onto one another if they do find a little opening and crashing into any trees. Luckily, he diverts it. On the slip. East side, Furia and Goat Team, Blank, with Team Flash potential to third party. Could be pretty nasty stuff. Ayala not quite able to get the knock, and already a lot of damage done to Furia. The blue zone will ramp up the damage into stage 4 as well. They can't stay in there for long.
Ooh, down towards the southeast edge. Very, very barren area of the map. You've got the ridge side that sits over towards that northwest, though, and if that can be controlled nicely, then Aura has a good game off the back of this. But BTR, the mission becomes all the more important to remove that team from that north side, because then they are in control of that high ground.
Furia trying to jet across the open ground here. Team Flash trying to give them trouble for it, but over to the hill, they've managed to successfully get very, very central here. Furia with a fast dash across, and it's a success for now. That crescent on the east side as well could potentially be a little bit of a launching point for Team Flash, and Furia will have a lot of challenges moving in. Aurora first up to bat, but Horror are going to crunch them in.
Yeah, it's a very wooded area of the map as well, so in terms of sightlines, there are a lot of cheeky positions you can sit behind. Don't always need a vehicle to live this one out towards the end game. Furia made a hell of a send here over towards Aurora. A super important fight for Furia here. For Aurora, they want to get back on the bike.
Got to be worried about the teams to the south as well. For Furia, they may be on broadside if 721 gets any closer. The nades from Aurora doing damage, but have yet to find a knock. That one looks okay. Ooh, not quite bouncing. She just about staying alive. The buggy not providing enough cover. Aurora yet to find a proper opening against Furia.
Igor takes a lot of damage, spots Doc on his approach. He swings out to the side and doesn't commit to the spray. Good bait, though, coming through from Furia on the vehicles and where the smokes went down and then diverting away from those locations. Basically wasted a ton of nades from the side of Aurora. Sad thing is, seems like they've got even more.
Ooh, on the west side, Bigatron is starting to eat too much lead from S2G, who have managed to post themselves up on the northern flanks of North George. A nice little split going on there for them. BTR only losing one, though, in that engagement. Furia still just weathering this storm, and Ayala have committed so much to this. Really haven't found the value.
Fury still at a full 4-man. Top. That's a really, really healthy amount of grenades left to work with here. 5 total. Razak will find Solke, so BTR hanging on by a thread currently versus S2G, who were making their way out from the western side apartments of North George.
The arena can chime in from there as well, Blank. On the south side, they could start to join in if S2G start to flag. I don't think there's any way to slow their descent. They need to keep it together.
They down. It looks on target. Another one sent through. Doesn't quite find the damage they were looking for, though, sadly. If BTR could hit those, then maybe it was a different story for them, and that would have been an easy cleanup. But Kamikaze getting a nice little Molotov over the top there, that causes problems.
Stops BTR from fully peaking on this ridgeline. I mean, I don't think they can anyway, given where E-Arena sit, and Aura might also be able to chime in, along with GOAT team in the distance. But now S2G are back into somewhat fighting form. But there's E-Arena. There's that backstab I was so worried about. And one goes down. It's a trade. 2 is found, though. And Kamikaze there. Where on earth did that come from? Who just shut out BTR? It seems like everyone immediately turned their attention through. S2G are worried that there's more players in here. He's spraying it down, but they're already gone.
721 taking shots, and the circle heads southeast once again. What a difficult portion of land to work with. In comes the arena, though. We talked about them before, and they're looking to set up an arena here versus S2G. MG3 does a good amount of work. First player goes down. Kamikaze tries to keep it alive, but will fall in the process. And the arena will dig some graves, one for their own, but mostly for the side of S2G, but now down to just 2 players. It's a rough proposition to be in. Aurora, in the meantime, have been taking this fight slow and steady versus Furia.
And Furia are bleeding out, bleeding dry, blank. There's only 1 player now left standing for them. They've already lost the majority of their forces. And over the top, though, Team Flash starting to get involved, trying to take that position and backfill Aurora. They still have to worry about the north side, though, with GOAT and Aura yet to push on in. The last player for Furia falls, and our top 3 really doesn't budge all that much, Blank. With only 2 points earned, that is the only 2 points for any team in the top 3.
The arena want to go a little bit further here. 2 players alive, but it looks like things are opening up for teams underneath mainly. For Aura, they're stuck on the northwest edge. How do they make their way out of this?
Another knock over towards the arena and flushed away as well. With 5 elims, they are joining the 30-point club, though, which is a good place to be. Even if they go down here and now, a lot of stragglers still running their way through on the western side, and yet to make their way all the way in. You can march down some of North George and try and play it on that angle. Really interested in what Team Flash are going to be able to do here, Blank. They've been in a really important position for a lot of this game, but they haven't really stepped out of line and gotten involved.
I think Team Flash realizes that they've been flagging today, and now they need sort of a chicken dinner, a couple of eliminations just to get the momentum back on board, just to get the mentality in check. Goat, though, looks to be a pretty nice grenade down towards Jiggle. The airburst is fantastic, but just hits a little bit too close to the front side of the tree. But now he has very little time to react.
Rest of Horror need to keep him safe. GOAT team yet to find that knock, and actually more preoccupied with Mormon, it seems, to leave our 4th place team down. Nobody pushing too hard towards the top side. We'll have to wait and see. This north edge, though, is going to get engaged upon. That's the third party you've been waiting for. But Team Flash, top Z, needs to hold his nerve. Goat Team looking for that opener, but it's Aurora who gets stuck in first. Ayato now has to hold behind it. Team Flash just losing players left and right. A shoddy roll-up.
It doesn't work out, not at all. Don't account for the angles behind them on that ridge, and I do think it's a bit weird to try and go for that push there, coming through from Team Flash, not clearing that backside angle. I wonder if they thought that the fight hadn't concluded between Aurora and Furia just yet. Hard to say.
Really difficult to say. Goat Team just dodging these nades from Hora, who are playing on this north side, trying to march their way on in. They need to conclude this fight, but there's knocks back over towards Hora as well. There's fights from Boom on the western side of North George as we get our picture-in-picture. Force around the edge, takes down the final player of Hora. And now Goat Team need to put themselves back together and fast. The circle shrinks northeast.
Northeast, oh my goodness me. Pandem, happy with this one at least. Slow game from them. TT Project also looking to push further up here. They're on the southeast side, all players alive. GK also had a pretty cool performance. The rest of Flash moves in, trying to get something done. Spraying randomly through the smoke, looking for something, but Goat's not having it.
Stubborn as anything. They will fall down. Team Flash not getting the value they needed from that location. 7-2-1 able to win against Boom in the meantime as well on the west point of this circle near North George, trying to leave from those buildings, which is unfortunate. But 7-2-1, I mean, they just keep getting through in these matches. 5 eliminations now. They're the closest to our top block.
They're great at surviving it. At some point, I might just need to say this is a whole new playstyle that just works. 29 points with 5 eliminations, not bad. It's just in the face of some teams, it feels like they do fall over. That's what worries me for that squad. But overall, I mean, it has been a hell of a performance from that team from relatively nowhere. But this is what PMGO is all about. Introducing new teams to the ecosystem, giving them a chance to really show what's happening on the main stage. 7-2-1, make a breakout over towards GOAT. They have the high ground overlook. Quickly Focus moves over towards that north side to get a better angle on this.
Yeah, really nice flex out coming through from Focus, as you say, to get that side swipe, really linearize that fight, force them into potentially unfavorable engagements. You can see the nades are pouring in, whilst TT, Project, and GK on the south side start to get stuck in. That's what he was looking for, the lineup from Focus with the P90. What are you going to do about it? 7-2-1, lose the first. Ayato, though, goes down to a shotgun shell.
Hello.
And it might be a little swift turnaround here. They lost one, but 7-2-1 have come out swinging. They're up to 7 eliminations now, and all of a sudden, Goat Team looking like a couple of busters down on one player.
Rahan just charged through the smoke like a bull with a shotgun and causes some real big issues there for Goat Team. I mean, Rahan has been a real good player for the squad. Some incredible clutches from this guy, and certainly does what's necessary in the moment for this team to actually perform. We're up to 31 points now. Make that 32 with that extra elimination that just came through. Who knows? Maybe a chicken dinner for 7-2-1 at this stage.
I mean, the placements as well, Blank, they are a real big factor. They've added another to their tally. They're up into 3rd place guaranteed. That is a minimum coming through of 5 placement points. I think they might be able to jump into 1st place off of this match if they're going to be able to lock this one down. Even a 2nd place would guarantee it.
I mean,
7-2-1 looking pretty toasty.
If they can confirm a win, I will be much happy about this team, because I think so far they've got the consistency outside of the big games, but it's the big games I wanted to see more out of from 7-2-1. I didn't really see all that much of that in the survival stage. Here, on the other hand, they are gunning for a top 1 spot during this match.
Got a solid amount of control for it as well. GK with 4 players, but they are penned in. Fortunately, the circle keeps them in. Not so fortunate for 7-2-1, but they are in, and they do have this little ridgeline to play around. I think they've got, well, that vehicle's smoking. Don't know how much mobility 7-2-1 will be able to find.
I mean, GK just have a compound, right? I think it's not the greatest, it's not the best compound of all time, but it's certainly a position to play. Late game, they can even use the rooftops to really manhandle some of these squads. Plenty of shots coming through from all the teams. TT Project trying to remain calm on that northeast side, waiting for the best time to strike, and I think they realize they need to let the circle move away from GK.
ET Project starting to step forwards. Zerich has been that forward position for them for a while, but this ridge that they sit behind, this little mound that they're using as cover, is going to have to be left, and they're going for it now. Do they crash into Geeke? I feel like that might be a terminal decision. It may be one of the very few options left to them. They're yet to speed up out of it. No knocks seen.
Oh, very quiet. Still quite a few shots been sent back and forth, but not really anything found off the back of it. TT Project grab a vehicle. Neos looking to potentially move swiftly on this next shift, but they are currently outside the circle. Zerich being forced to play off this smoke, and the reason they're playing here is just for the slight bit of high ground that maybe gives them a different angle on this one. Smoke over towards a tree. Really nicely played here. Don't think Neos had to move further.
They drop one off, two behind the tree. I don't think you can hold enough cover from the sidelines. You have to split off there. And now two players left for TT Project, but they are both in the circle, Blank. They are both in this next zone. Geeke, they just let this one come to them.
Both teams on this next one are going to have a very tough push in. Basically, TT Project need a northeast shift. For 7-2-1, they need something heading over towards that northwest side, but more importantly, they need this to pull off from the compound.
Flex out necessary, potentially. Come on through. Oh, southeast side. I think it just about cuts the compound out, Blank.
There is no hard cover for TT Project to work with, so even though this is helpful to them, you look in front of them here, where do they go? They're going to be one of the last teams to have to move, which is good for them.
Moves forwards. I mean, that airdrop is doing wonders for the forward position, but 7-2-1 have to regroup on top of it as well. Alec start to leverage this angle, and TT Project really can't peek so much right now, which means that his approach was a lot safer. Geeke a little bit further down the ridgeline, and now the back duo is going to move in to rejoin. The question is, how do they spread out around this, especially once they start getting into nade range?
7-2-1 move up. Like you said, this loot crate was phenomenal for them. Creating a forward position, you can push the vehicles onto it, the vehicles explode, but you still got somewhere to play. The sad thing is, it's right on the edge of the circle, but it buys them time, and time is what they need here.
I mean, if you're Geeke, popping someone onto the roof for a little bit might be the opener that you need, but Easy for Bad Boy says, no, I'll do it down and dirty on the ground floor. Gets that first knock over towards 7-2-1, who are playing as three, but a big shot down comes through from Zerich. I thought that was from the nade. It looked a little bit far away, but an opener there. 7-2-1 will lose them, and that's what I was looking for. Kevin now up on the roof Blank and has huge oversight of everybody in the field.
Yeah, that rooftop is so insanely good. You see it utilized so much, but they had to wait a little bit for these teams to have to drop over towards the low ground. Zerich goes down. Now just effect with the MG3. How much further can he go? These nades start to bounce over the top.
Oh, 7-2-1 have so much being sent their way. Geeke still have a couple more left in the tank. That one's going to bounce. I don't think it finds it, but effect falls. That is going to put 7-2-1, I believe, in the first place spot here, Blank. But the question is, how far can they go in a 2 versus 4? Rayhan needs something special. Malik needs to find it, but they all step on each other. And then goes bang, denial.
Denied their points there right at the end. That's very smart coming through from 7-2-1. They realize they're quite far ahead, and I respect the strategy at that stage of the game. You realize, you know what, we're not getting anything off the back of this. Let's just go down. If we get maybe 1 or 2 openers there, different story.
And what an ascension coming through from 7-2-1. They've just been this sort of quiet dark horse presence on the outside, and this game was a lot louder from them.
For sure, for sure. I think for 7-2-1, like I said, what I needed to convince me that this team maybe had a shot towards the top side was a good game like this. A strong game, not one where they got a couple of limbs at the start and then went and hid out somewhere for the later game. Very viable strategy, by the way, but not one that's going to get you enough points to get to the top. If they can have some games like this here and there, might be enough.
May very well be 7-2-1 playing from that North George position, flexing out towards that fight on the north side. that was embroiled with so many different teams. I think that was their master stroke to get them late into the game. They control from that terrain later on, and getting a second place to cap it off was brilliant. But Geeky are able to hold that south side compound, let the fights come to them, and Geeky take a chicken dinner.
I don't got time for the messing up gold. If this the Olympics, I'm taking a gold. I'm taking a
Day one,
They do have a lot more opportunity.
and there is plenty more chance available for them.
So many more goes around the block. And of course, in one day's performance, you can pull off something that's fairly similar to what these other teams have been able to achieve so far as well. With 40 points so far for 7-2-1, they have somehow managed to exceed their expectations. I think more so maybe than... I think they're probably the team that's most exceeded expectations at a global level up until this date, I think it's safe to say. I will sort of wait until the end of the day to sort of fully lock that in, but they have very much been surprising. I think that coming into this tournament, 7-2-1 was nowhere near the conversation of a team that could win.
There were some incredible teams in Uzbekistan, but very different format where we didn't have global teams around the world all coming. We had very new teams coming in where you could differentiate yourselves in those kind of lobbies. Here it's very hard to. So for 7-2-1, you're right. A really, really standout performance from them. Very impressive stuff. It's an interesting playstyle they go for. Again, I have to compliment the fact that they have such incredible map knowledge. As that's the only way they survive in a lot of these situations. So this team's done their homework. Certainly done their homework.
Paying off now, especially after that last match where our top three didn't move pretty much at all. Looking to try and split off the difference here now, though. EK. Hag on, I believe that is against Flash. Yeah, lose, win. And they have been back to that disappointing performance that we saw from them in Group A. Just about able to squeak through in the final moments, but it's just not coming through. It's just not coming through. We're just not seeing the same sort of accuracy, the same sort of engagements that we saw from them in the survival stages where they were so dominant, Blank. I think it's sort of easy to forget, but they were just so incredibly dominant in those survival stages in basically every scenario you put them in.
Yeah, I think for Flash in particular, incredible squad all round, especially in that survival stage. But like I said, I keep saying it, it's a very different lobby this, different caliber of players you're coming up against. And teams that typically tend to run lobbies don't do as well here, where they just take advantage of the fact that they could just bulldoze through teams, swipe them aside. Not the case. Our analysts right now are enjoying some lovely local food.
Sweet treats.
I am very jealous.
We're sat here, we have to work, and they're out there eating sugary snacks and having a great time.
Exactly.
Joke's on them, though, because we're having a better time. Because we're in this game, right?
Oh,
right?
never mind. Looks like it tastes terrible.
Oh.
So it's all okay for us, after all.
Gotcha. It's going to be... They're looking at us because they're not listening to us right now. They are confused as to
The
why
first one looked delicious and seemed to be delicious. The second one, the flavour, didn't seem to compete with the boys.
It was blue.
It was blue. I think I'm past my stage of blue food. I think I might have enjoyed that when I was like 18 to 20. Not so much. I'm old man
Not
now.
even a blue fizzy pop?
No. Not for me.
Blue berries, although they're not technically blue.
Oh, like, they're dark blue. I think they're still blue. You're thinking of a very specific Aurora blue.
Yeah, that's true. Aurora blue. Certainly looking pretty blue, or maybe feeling pretty blue on the roster at the moment, as we were highlighting before with Aurora. Definitely looking for a little bit more from them. Our teams have moved in towards the circle, the area north of Chumasara, west of Los Leones. Quite a few teams have packed in quite tightly here, Blank. 3 teams have lost a player. Geeky Gaming Stars and Team Flash have all lost one.
Well, you do want to pack in towards Chumacera a lot of times because the space around here isn't always that great. You know, you can play Picardo. It's not likely it's going to end there. For 4 Thrives, to respect the decision, they pull far down towards that southwest side straight away. You have to take advantage that you start in Picardo as well as 4 Thrives, especially on a circle like this one where you have so much availability to get a decent start on your game. Yeah, you are going to feel the squeeze here, though.
Ulf, they went down a pretty tricky rotate in that last match, but the match before that, they were able to nail it. Jump up there in what used to be first place. Pushed aside. Hopefully on Miramar they can get a little bit more done. Of course, a lot of attention to S2G in this game. As the desk has been talking about, as we've seen from them previously, they got in direct to the grand finals because of a back-to-back chicken dinner here on Miramar. And on this northeast side, they're going to be coming into this circle quite late, Blank. So they definitely need to make some waves to try and jump into this circle and jump into the runnings on these tables.
For S2G, you're right. I mean, this needs to be some serious wave making, right? We need to rock the boat in a big way. But they don't start with a decent circle transition, right? They're coming in from that northeast side. Practically right at the back of the queue here, with Flash playing in Los Leones. As always, we're waiting for stage 2. The classic. The big old shift on stage 2, where it's going to really define how this game goes out. Plenty of areas for it to head towards. Could head towards La Triera, Power Grid, Picardo way. Los Leones would be a fun ending here at Global.
Those urban engagements generally get messy pretty quickly, which is fun to watch. Not so fun if you're trying to bid for one of the top spots here. S2G have moved in on the north side of Los Leones, captaining the hills up there. And actually have a decent lock on the east side rotations. Next circle about to come in though, Blank.
All right, see where it heads to. Down towards the south, actually. Most teams already in position here. You can see a couple of shots ringing off. Coming through from BTR, looking onwards to TT Project, I believe that is, because they're coming in right from Valle de Mar at the moment. But yeah, we are in those foothills though. It's kind of undecided. We have like the open space towards that northern side. You can tuck yourself in towards those sloping hills on the south if you want, but I don't know, man. I think I'd much prefer to be where currently Aurora's playing, dead central.
Might be a little bit more kind. Ulf, they lose a player on the rollout. I feel like S2G potentially have a really important position in terms of controlling all these teams up the north side if they want to rotate down towards the south. Because if you are moving from the north to the south side of this circle, you're not going through Chumacera. You're just not going to do it. 4 Thrive though, they're in a little bit of a scrap. They've got a little bit of danger on their doorstep, but they're handling it. As Pandem tried to make an entry, but it's not going their way. Can you get Hazaifa back to his feet though? He's crawling back, desperately trying to get into a reservoir position here, but looks like 4 Thrives have managed to marshal their forces nicely. What a timing on that nade. Pandem, they're staying down at the bottom of the tables. This is not good news. On home turf, they have only managed to rack up 3 points in 5 matches.
Hey, I mean, shut down so easily there. The 4 Thrives looked a little bit bad at the start, but a restabilize like that doesn't happen all that often. Instantaneously identifying the pattern of attack there and dealing with it masterfully. Really good from 4 Thrives.
Nade was perfectly timed. I mean, a little bit of luck there to have pulled the pin already and know that you're going to be on that angle, holding that door, but he knew that it was going to be useful. As soon as he put the pin out, just didn't know quite where and when. The opportunity presented itself to him. GameStar also eliminated as Horror take them to task fairly cleanly, all things considered. Horror now, they are down 1 player, but on the north side, they can make their way forwards. There's a couple of positions that they could look to take up.
Aurora Gaming currently playing Church right now. Good spot to get some information on from. Very early in the game, especially for how central this is too. S2G finding Falak as he did make a move out from here. First elim for S2G. Team that seems to adore Miramar.
Got a 100% win rate on every Miramar we've seen, Blank, from them. They're basically guaranteed to win. Statistics don't lie.
I mean, your statistics aren't lying. What you're inferring from them maybe is a stretch.
Oh, you know, 100% win rate. They should have just retired there and just kept their 100% win rate, you know? It would have been brilliant. Hard east shift blank as we go to the the western points of Los Leones, out to the east of Chumacera as well. I actually think that a lot of teams are much happier about this than it may seem at this point. If you get crunched in towards Chumacera, I think that's a much more difficult set of rotates.
Yeah, there's a lot of high ground to play over on that side where you can deny a lot of teams. For instance, if you're on the south side of Chumacera playing towards the silos, it's not always comfortable being the other teams in Chumacera. I do think, though, that Ulf's in trouble. I think when you play central like this, it's not as comfy as you might think it is. A lot of teams coming your way and they don't have a significantly strong position to hold him with 3. Furia making a little wrap, threading the needle right now on the south side, past Boom as well as the Flash.
Not going to get away for...
N.
Damage pouring on back. Zeus with an off angle, though. A really clean off angle there. Doesn't stop the player moving forward, but they can isolate it, right? That is the big danger. He blasts the door if it's injured as well. He's going to take damage over towards those vehicles to boot. Chief is trying to stop him from peeking too far over, but he's got the cover there. A really nice cover off angle for Team Flash, but oh, okay. I thought he was getting a little bit too big for his boots on that peak.
I mean, all he has to do is take shots over towards the vehicle's tires, and it's going to maroon the guys from Furia in the future. But in comes BTR. Zeus has been quite the loud presence. He's going to go check it out, actually. Seems bold. Yeah, send back.
BTR seemingly a little bit cautious on this, perhaps worried of more angles there, although they should have only been hearing one shot ring out, one person taking shots out from that angle, but the regroup comes in. Flash will keep their 3 players alive, and BTR take up position on that hill out to the west. And you know what? It's kind of okay that they let BTR have that hill, right? Because Furia on that angle, they're still going to get covered off from that side swipe angle, which still splits them up and makes their compound a lot harder to navigate through, as well as give their vehicle angles quite a lot of attempts to burst those tires.
Really, really central circle. No one's bothered by this one. It kind of just resets the flow on the game. Only a couple teams in trouble here, which is TT Project, BTR, Aurora. Where does Aurora want to play off the back of this one? E-Arena also need to get themselves in. But for everyone else, it's super comfortable. There's no real problem here, no real issue. 7-2-1, importantly, as a 4-man down towards the southwest side.
That roadside position as well. For TT Project, that might look quite appetizing with a boom across the road as well. That's really, really tough to make that crossing. BTR, as you said before, one of the teams with more challenge than most right now, moving forwards into this next circle. Looks like they're going to keep trying to swing on that south edge. I don't think this is a terrible idea. They should have spotted that Team Flash have just left their position as well, depending on how well they've scouted that out. Team Flash are actually doing pretty well to get across the road there. I kind of like that road take coming through for Team Flash, but just a pity they only have the 3 players to try and stanchion it up. Horror on the northwest side, trying to slow E-Arena as they wrap through. E-Arena really don't have many options here.
Well, for Flash, they know all the angles they need to cover off from Furia, so setting themselves in front of them is not a bad idea. For the Flash being on 3, now losing even more a little bit here. Very low on 2 of their players, incredibly low in fact, and it's actually Igor to find that.
Off with a chance to hold it off with a Mini 14 on the hip fire, able to dispatch another knock. And now he can fall back. Aurora with all 4 players. E-Arena were forced into this fight by the presence of Order on the north, and they just can't weather the storm. E-Arena were trying to punch in towards that 30-point bang, but not able to do it any further. They go down, only 2 eliminations. They will fall, and now Aurora have a challenge.
Mini 14 Forte there coming through from top. I mean, this guy has been known for that weapon for such a long time. I just didn't think that he would be using it as his close range weapon as well. Fairly impressive result, but I think Top certainly put the Mini 14 on the map. for a lot of players. Definitely used quite a bit in the past on Miramar, but top just makes it look legendary. TT Project did slowly make their way in. So they start to cross the road now. Flash similarly took a lot of damage. Igor getting a knock, but no flush. So Flash did reset. Definitely armor is looking a little bit grim there. No compound that they're in either, so no chance at repairs for the time being, or replacements more likely.
Aurora continuing to put pressure on Aura, trying to move on into their northwest side. But what a sit down coming through from Octa. Okay, a headshot and a spray down with a scar. That should be fairly easily resable though, so no massive harm done. However, Aurora, their punishment over towards Aura will be diminished because of that angle, as Top needs to get some healing done before he can really start to take those peaks once more.
A really uncomfortable area of the map. I mean, this is just so tumultuous in terms of terrain. You're having just rolling hills, small ridges, defilades all over the place. And we're just going to go straight on top of it again. For Boom, it's a good spot to play. Don't really want to head too much further than where Flash is playing on that north side, just because you're dropping down a little bit. Sort of like fish in a barrel there. So we'll see how this does pan out, but we keep getting these central shifts.
As this east ring of teams, though, that is really going to struggle. Hora trying to make their dash to a position closer to the circle. Two players in the vehicle, drop one off by the airdrop, and the flames behind the bonnet can't be too comfortable right now. Sky trying to keep himself safe, get into a slightly better position, maybe protect those tires. In the meantime, TT Project want to move forwards, but 721 have been here for just a little bit too long. They are firm in their hold. Neos will go down to half HP on the bleed out as well. Some is churned back their way, but it's just not going to work out. That is nasty stuff for 721. Launch another nade towards the back line, doesn't quite connect. And there's no answer either.
Smoke's been dropped down as well, just to isolate vision, just making it very difficult to get these nades through the window. And 721 has a very nice setup here. The hand goes very low though, and TT Project slowly continues their march up the hill whilst trying to get players back up on their feet. But Ephius goes down next, and Neos will bleed out. And 721's had a very effective hold. The nades are nowhere close. In comes BTR.
They are a little bit split for BTR, but they have managed to find a little bit of a punch through here. Another knock over towards them, but 721 finally lose one. In fact, the last to stand for TT Project, and BTR have managed to get to the doorstep for the time being, but they're only playing two here. They haven't fully committed to this engagement. It looks like they want to regroup on towards it. Federal is over the hills. Now they can start to put nades in. Already a knock over towards 721, but these are getting rezzed up, Blank, and soon enough, they will be taken away. A shot over towards TT Project actually gives BTR one of the points there. In effect, now the last to stand, but they've been let away for a while. BTR struggling to get in, and it's a disaster on the hop out. Looks for more, and Razy has to hold his nerve. He's the last of BTR. More players are there, but he gets another.
Everyone's so incredibly low inside the building, including himself. First is good, now looks for a second. Three players down on the inside. In comes Effect. He looks to finish the job and gets the revenge. And one player from BTR survives.
Crazy weathers the storm, takes three of them out himself. A little assist from Effect at the end there. But that is some stalwart play, but with only one player alive, it is going to be tough for BTR to go any further than that. Not going to stop the crowd from getting on their feet, though.
Aurora, 7 elims on the match here, John, so trying to please the audience a little bit here, please the crowd. No fear will go down to S2G, who currently has a 4-man, by the way.
Worry. You've got to worry about S2G on Miramar. It seems like this east side is looking pretty good for them. Boom. Have all 4 players alive as well on their northwest compound, Blank. It's fairly well defended. It's in a really solid spot. The next circle may push them out of favor, but for now, they are very safe. Aurora, similarly, skirting around it, looking pretty good as it goes central again.
Yeah, it's very fine circles so far. Very fair, but we are locking in over towards that location that you can see teams are very much shying away from. Do not want to get near that ditch at all. Four Thrives on the north side, a team vying for the top side of the table, currently on 38 points, 4 eliminations this game, chasing towards 7-1, who finished their match here at 43. And you can just see the difference between this survival stage and groups, where it is so tight on the tables in match 5.
Nice and close, and that's the way I like it, you know, Blank. I don't want there to be those massive clear leaders. I want a threat from every angle. That is what Battle Royales are about. Horror do go down. They will lose their final members, as do BTR. Despite a hero play, they will go no further. The placement points haven't even kicked in yet, Blank. We've got quite a few teams, actually, with, well, every single team has 3 or 4 players alive at this stage, so some pretty hefty hits still to be dished out. Oh, they've been on 3 for quite a long time. And they're looking to leave Geeky a little bit lower. They've already lost 1. So now, with the loss of Easy for Bad Boy, they're the only team on 2.
Yeah, good stuff from Ulf there. I mean, they need these points desperately. Any points are better than none for them towards that top side of the table. They just want to stay in contention. Just in case they're able to get a big jump up on the tables. Gotta stay close here. So getting up towards like a top 5 for Ulf, very important in this game, but a difficult push in for them. And they have a really quite a large task here versus S2G. It's a 3v4, and they're gonna have to give up this high ground potentially to them.
Both teams gonna have to move on that northeast side. The Turkish teams both have to try and navigate a similar approach. Got 4 Thrives in the way. Ulf with a big opener over towards S2G, but 4 Thrives are still getting stuck in. This is nasty. 2 knocks over towards Ulf, leaving 1 player alive, but it is Eren. We know what this man can do. Does he have the grit to go for it? 2 knocks back over towards S2G. That looks pretty solid. It goes a little bit long. The first res has come through, and S2G do lose 1 to a flush. Eren's charging in, no fear, and he steps through. Goes for the spray, but doesn't connect on it, and he's taken so low. Has to go for the weapon swap to the attempt to go for it, but Ulf will fall. They do not make it up any higher onto this match and will be denied access to the top spot itself. S2G, so unfortunate that they lost a player on the run up there. With 4 players, it's a different game for them.
Really is. Furia as well as Boom, the 2 other teams with 4 on side. Boom's been playing it very calm over towards the northwest. Go team setting these down. Bozy burning out, but will be able to get the first aid kit off, but that's without the help from top with the mini 14. Chief steals it though.
Who's another on the knock? 4 Thrives have been holding out this fight in the northeast for a while now. They are ready for it. Lost almost certainly going to go down here. No time for S2G to mount an offensive with their 2 players, Kamikaze and HamZG on the back lines. Cypher able to find that flush. Circle up towards the north side and another nade over towards S2G. I don't think we're seeing the S2G Miramar chicken dinner. It will be locked in, and they don't go far enough, Blank. 4 Thrives, however, they've got a little bit more left to say, despite not having Falak.
Miramar miracles are over for S2G, it seems. The Circle, on the other hand, desperate to have a look at this side of the map. And we will get to have a look at it, and you'll see how grim it is to play. EK under fire now from Boom, trying to thread the nade in. Not as easy as it looks. Octa does not have any nades left to play with.
Boom have to move in. 4 Thrives right now, kind of in a really solid spot, I think. It's 4 Thrives and Aurora, the only 2 teams with positions in this next circle, Blank. I'm interested to see what Furia can do here. They have still got 4 players alive. Very likely they're going to have to push in, and it looks like they're going to go towards the south and sweep through Goat Team potentially, or try and slip that one entirely. However, it's easier said than done, and that's 1, 2, 3 down. Silence the last to go for Furia. A very difficult approach from this western side, and they have found out all about it. Aurora and Goat Team trading off this fight to take the shots over towards Furia. Meanwhile, on the north side, Boom yet to make their move.
Boom doesn't really want to do anything. They've been stuck on the northwest side, and Aurora's just completely lapped them on this one. Good shots coming through from top at distance. Oh. Boom swinging past, but Zhol with a double pickup. And this is the Aurora we were looking for.
That is how you pick your feet up. start marching on. 9 eliminations there. Nades in from 4 Thrives, though, could steal a couple points.
Bang!
Oh, it's huge. And down go, boom. 11 eliminations for 4 Thrives and for Aurora. Both of these two teams looking to make their mark here, but a knock over towards Hazaifa makes it a little bit tougher. Aurora are rolling over the hilltop, and Hazaifa is stranded.
Top on a disgusting dash this game towards the top side of the rankings. Incredible shots from him so far from the Mini 14, as well as this AUG, which he's been using so masterfully this game. Nades are going out at the moment. Can't quite find anything. Go also pressuring onto their side. Silence waiting underneath. Top will find him. That Thorn's taken out of the side.
Ooh, IQ nearly hitting the drop shot there, but does go low himself, needs to be careful. Healing necessary now. 4 Thrives playing as 2 players, as GOAT team maraud around the hilltop now. Top, the only thing standing between Aurora and having a GOAT team cresting that ridgeline behind them. Does mean, though, that it isolates this fight as a 2v2 for 4 Thrives. Reefus goes low. Ziol has to regroup on towards him with the nades coming through from Hazaifa. This is nasty stuff.
Reefus yet to reload. So low, gets chased down by Hazaifa. Ziol now drops the deck, pulls the pin on the grenade. This will have to be a heroic lob on this one. And it goes too far.
Ziol now with a challenge. Top has to fend off GOAT team all on his own. They just don't have the time. They don't have it. And it's 4 Thrives now in a 3 versus 3 to take this one all the way.
4 Thrives looking for their second chicken dinner today. Making their mark on the tables. There was questions about this team performing at the finals. A strong team to be sure, but did they have the guts? Did they have what it takes to be a global champion? They're looking to prove it right now.
Hazaifa doesn't even have a helmet right now. They have been through it. Thick and thin, they need to stick together. GOAT team are a lot closer to the edge of this next circle, Blank. They are maybe on the outside track here, and 4 Thrives could potentially hold them at distance and try and play it that way. See if they can choke the life out rather than go for a full frontal fight, especially when you're on diminished armor. Hazaifa, though, on this close mound, is so ready to step in.
Focus, keeping it locked down. Hazaifa on a critical angle for themselves. It's a little bit of high ground over towards the western side. All that's really playable right now. They do not want to have to move away from it, but the blue will force them. Hazaifa takes a hit at the start. Don't think it dropped him too far beneath 75%. Hopefully he's got stims on board.
Okay, sticking up, there we go. Potentially apply bandages there as well. Get him a little bit more healthy, but in they go. For GOAT team, they are really stuck here. I feel like 4 Thrives have better mobility. You don't need to go for this fight. Hazaifa could potentially give ground. They have more access to the low ground. A GOAT team, a little bit more isolated. They need to punch through. They need to find it open.
Good smoke.
4 Thrives aren't giving them anything. That smoke is going to force GOAT team into an even more unfavorable position. Around the edge of the smoke, they're lining up the spray downs. There's one, there's another, and they are looking for the third. For 4 Thrives, they want this one, and through the smoke he goes. Hazaifa's there, they're clearing it up, and they will find the final nail to blast into the coffin of GOAT team. A second chicken dinner for 4 Thrives.
Looking fantastic, this team. And this is only going to further the momentum from this squad. They're not going to give up too easily going forward now. They can taste it. They can taste the trophy, taste the glory.
Blank, that game will put them quite far in the lead as well. They were at the top of the tables, I think, with about 4 teams remaining just on their elims. They've added 10 placement points on board. They have just distinguished themselves above the rest.
If someone wants a chance at catching them up tomorrow for the smash, then they need to equalize soon.
Absolutely. GOAT team, an unfortunate final moment there for them as well. Getting really crunched in by the cliff face, by that smoke, by that positioning coming through from 4 Thrives, who were able to hold out teams on the northeast, who were able to play their position and play to their strengths. Without Falak for the longest time as well in that game, if there was any doubts that this team could perform and not just rely on one player, that has been proven to be false. 4 Thrives come alive for a second chicken dinner.
Rocketstad, stand up, baby, because 4 Thrives get their second chicken dinner for day number 1 of the grand finals. And that, my friends, will rocket launch them all the way to the top of the leaderboards.
I'm not going to lie, in this game, I kind of forgot about 4 Thrives in the center because it felt like that camouflage, and then it came out of nowhere, 7, to get that win at the end.
That's right. I mean, this squad with just 3 players being able to come and clutch in the win. The questions have been, how is Falak going to perform? What's going to happen to the team if Falak doesn't perform? Well, guess what? That has been answered in a big way with this match, as Falak was eliminated very early on, and everybody, especially IQ, stepped it up.
I mean, IQ, I know he's an IGL, but is he really? Or is he a fragger right now? Because this guy had some crazy sprays, and especially the grenades were just 10 out of 10 stuff. And this hold in particular versus SGG is what enabled them to go the entire stretch to get that win against the side of Go, because clearing their back just made that transition to the Rich line so much smoother.
And it's how they got to that area too, because they had to rotate and split Ulf and
over on the desk as well, the Indo teams here, not quite finding their feet. They were talking about which team might shake things up the most. I think if BTR get a win here, the whole stadium might shake.
I think you wouldn't be wrong. I think you wouldn't be wrong. For this game in particular, though, let's take a look at the circle. Heads over towards that western side. 4 Thrives having Picardo here on Miramar has been such a boon for them, especially on the circles that we're getting. Really easy rotational pass for them straight away out of Picardo. Really good loot in Picardo too. Pandem having 1 player drop over towards Geeke.
Okay, well, immediate drop on a DBS. That's got to feel pretty good, but the Winnie, oh my goodness me. They're going to hunting. Really unsure about that one, as you said. Very, let's say, interesting decision from Pandem. I mean, that's a 3-point decision right there.
I mean, I guess for Pandem, they just realized, you know, they realize just as much as 7 does that this is over. Right? They did not make the cut so far. They need to move further up in the rankings, but 16th place seems like where they're going to keep lying at the moment. 3 points on an entire day would be a tremendously bad result. Like, probably one of the worst we've seen in a long time at a global.
Yeah.
Which is strange for a team that we know isn't bad.
0.5 average on the day, that would be, if they don't find anything else here. They've already taken a hefty hit from Arena in that area. Maybe a little bit more, the red dot. Does make it tough, but doesn't quite connect. Joker will run out of ammo if he keeps going for it, but he is going to go for it. Why not? Why not?
You miss every shot you don't take, so for Joker, looks to just keep sending it. Furious starting in Montenuevo, equally a good spot alongside with 4 Thrives. We've got 7-2-1 currently in El Pozo. I think the only team in that top 4 that is struggling is probably Ulf, who are over towards the eastern side. If we drop it down 1 further towards Go Team, they are in Partona. Always a bit of an uncomfortable rotation there for them. Aurora, Chumacera. I think a lot of the interesting teams here are like in fairly decent spots in the circle. Could make for a very, very curious final day here at PMGO.
Quite a long wait until we get this this next circle, though, Blank. I feel like we've got a lot of time to settle into this game coming up ahead of us. Not huge rotations necessary from most of our teams now. As you said, it is seemingly fairly chilled out for the time being. I mean, this rotate up the western side coming through from TT Project is probably going to be the most dynamic part of this west side of the circle we'll see for a while. The rotations that I think people are going to be interested in. Bigatron from the northeast side, Sierra Bronca, as well as Boom from the east side, Impala. Potentially as well Geeke in El Azahar.
Geeke actually ends up, because like you say, it's a long rotate. BTR, Toyo Armada, also very, very difficult. I think if, like you say, BTR get themselves a win, you know, they shove themselves up to like 40 points if they have a fairly decent game off the back of it. It's definitely doable. Aaron making the sprint. I don't know if he's got his vehicle trapped here or not.
Fine. He's getting his cardio in, you know. No car. Good
No cardio. Yeah.
He's trying to...
That's what I always say.
You do always say that. It's actually quite annoying, especially when it's no relevance to anything. You know, we sit down and Blank's like, no car, good cardio. And I'm like,
yeah. Stop that.
I'm eating my dinner. What are you doing?
Cease it.
Goodness me. Plenty of teams looking to eat their dinner here in the final match.
Eating good with chicken dinner, that's for sure.
What sort of chicken? That is the question. That's the question.
Maybe like a teriyaki chicken. That would do. Maybe.
I mean, orange chicken.
Orange chicken,
Big
also
chicken.
good. Yeah. Absolutely.
Roast chicken.
Give me a thriving roast chicken.
Old school roast chicken.
Yeah.
Lovely full English. No, not that's the wrong sort of meal, isn't it?
Yeah,
Roast
it is.
dinner. That's
Roast
what I'm
dinner. Sunday roast.
Yeah.
Lovely. Don't know how many people actually have that around the world, but I guess I'll find out later when someone messages me saying, what is that?
What on earth is a roast dinner? Well, you take your dinner and you roast it, just like Frenzy's looking to try and roast one of the 4th Rise players, but you're going to have to get up earlier than that to start cooking. You want to take down 4th Rise because they are sat atop the table and looking peachy keen for more fights.
A little split at the moment, though, is 4th Rise, so Zypher waiting in the wings does provide information back to the rest of the squad who are now in vehicles, making their way on over. Pandem, obviously, weakened at this point in time with just 3 players alive.
1 point per player that's alive right now. Sort of thing you might see in match 1 or 2.
Hey.
Not in match 6.
We got to stop. We got to stop.
They've just done so
Yeah,
badly.
I know.
It is really very unfortunate. You see all 3 of our Indo teams on the back page. They've still got this match to do it. Blank, they've still got an opportunity. And we know in these shorter sets how much things can change, right? We saw massive differences towards the ends of those days where we were playing 6-match sets. We've also now got an entirety of tomorrow for them to try and pick things up because it definitely does need something to change. Our circle still about a minute away from touching and showing us where stage 2 will be.
So in the meantime, most teams just try and get themselves as central as possible. Play off the back of some of the high grounds, get some information. For Fury and Monte Nuevo, really easy. They're just playing currently a 2-1-1 split. Trying to maintain all edges right now of Monte Nuevo. It is a large city at the end of the day. But they want the options. They want the options that will follow with stage 2. I am just impressed. We have a 33, 36, 37, 37, 42, 43, 46. And then really the only standout is 4th Rise at 60. But this is a very, very evenly matched lobby.
I mean, we were talking about, you know, bubbles in previous days, right? 6th place bubble, we were talking about getting over that 40-point threshold to feel safe. 4th place bubble, we were talking getting over that 50-point bubble to be safe. It's so much lower here by approximately 5 points sort of a piece in terms of getting to those various positions. And 5 points doesn't sound like a lot, but when you consider that you're talking about 6 or 7 teams needing to have 5 points fewer, you're already ballooning to about 30 to 40 points, about 40, 45 points maybe on these 4 to teams. 5. That is going to be taken away from the lobby at the top side, which is why it's such a significant metric to look at there, and it is just so tight towards the top.
Because the whole lobby's sponging. We don't have one particular team that's zooming out ahead at the moment. Our lobby is finding those points here and there. Furia get a nice start with this one. The circle does go over towards the western side, hits on Monte Nuevo. So if there's any time to do it for Furia.
Games with this shift out towards Monte Nuevo. Everybody on their bikes now. BTR back at the queue on the north side with E-Arena a little bit ahead of them towards El Pozo. Will have to make their way down. Razy gonna get stuck in here. Hops to the back seat, turning A. Just about able to stay alive there, but there was warning shots and more fired over the front bow. Axel wants to repeat that performance, wants to do more damage. Both these two teams diverging from one another though, and may just allow each other to move in on this north edge.
Slip on by here. Tricky decision to make here for BTR. They need the points, but they also understand they need to get further into the circle. For BTR, this rotation is fairly good, considering they're coming from Dora Armada at the start of the game. Over the wrap in quite nicely. They should be able to find themselves a decent position on this western side. And again, this is very much a decision made on the rotate, where we get a western shift on the circle. They decide, okay, let's go western side. Probably a lot more teams coming across from Picado inwards. We might be able to find ourselves a position here. Has forced E-Arena on the west road, though. So BTR might have a chance at holding them out in the future. 7-2-1, take a position in Monte Nuevo. Another team towards the top here. Third place currently. A team that has sort of come out of nowhere.
They have shown themselves capable as well of moving through these later stages of the game. They're standing up there with some of the best of them. Doc taking shots over towards Boom, who at the moment are keeping their heads down. It's only Pandem who have lost a player. We're still at 63 players in the lobby. Next circle is just about to display itself, and we're going down towards the south side of this one, towards La Riera, and that little bit of ground on the north side of Chubacetti.
Very southern shift here, down towards the south side. Like you say, Aurora Gaming get themselves gifted a loot crate from up on high. It's a good start to their game. Furia moving in. La Riera, they have the valley here, but the West Ridge is still in, but probably not for long. BTR trying to take shots over towards GK. They are making a bunch of enemies during this game, but they finally will hit their mark.
Towards BTR, they're just going to try and get away safely if they can. BTR now going to have to move in their wake past Monte Nuevo, which is a non-trivial direction to have to go. You're worried about teams who are already posted up beyond it, as well as the duo from Geeke, who you've just seen fleeing. Horror are going to clamp down on the east side of it. And for BTR, I think they've got a really tough situation on their hands.
BTR, I don't really know how they play this one now, because the arena already skipped the queue, basically, to get down towards that south side on that Riera. I mean, they'll also struggle, honestly, in the future. Four Thrives didn't have to move too far from Picado either. Very, very short, minimal rotation for them. But there is Ulf, Flash, Boom, Pandem all down towards that south side, and they do have the angles on. Boom brings one in over towards Flash. Just the start of things, though.
Ooh, has to slow down in the party bus, diverts almost immediately. Jubran as well, maybe dropping off here, or are they going to go for the fight? They've drawn the ire of Pandem, which, granted, isn't very fearsome right now, Blank, but still, it's a trouble. It's a problem. Potentially, especially with T-Flash and Four Thrives, as well as S2G lurking in the wings.
Always happen on that final match. Sanju from Boom looking down that way. S2G rocking in from that south side. They just swung by Chumacera. Things start to slow down. Aurora Gaming laughing at the moment. Incredibly good position from them. The desk was saying that things that would shake the top side of the lobby up would be Aurora Gaming getting a win. To the Four Thrives Aurora Gaming smoothie.
Would be good to see. I mean, they've really ramped up in terms of performance over the course of the day for Aurora. They started off very slow, not having the start that they wanted, so getting a chicken dinner to end things out would be a great confidence booster going into the final day and potentially into those smash zones. Next circle coming through where they're going to stay central. I mean, it's fairly secure no matter what. That east side gets thrown a little bit of a bone, but the road gets harder for BTR on that north side. I mean, they've had a tough time of it so far, but that's going to continue, especially when you consider you've got 721 and TT Project, as well as Furia across the road right next door to them.
Yeah, a lot of difficult approaches right now. BTR, I just don't know how much further they get off the back of this one. It's such a hard rotate. They already made a long journey round the side over towards the northwest and now need to push even further through to the east. 7-2-1, like you say, holding that road as well. So once you start to cross, likely you'll get taken shots from them. And then Aura is the arbiter on that northern edge, not letting anyone in from that Riera Valley. Four Thrives keeping it calm, keeping it quiet. Makes sense. They just want to extend that lead a little bit. They take a bit of a heavy hit right now. One player goes low, but no knocks just yet.
They're going to make their move. BTR trying to navigate Monte Nuevo, using the buildings as cover, moving fast through. They've got one player out on the off angle. They're slowly going in for this fight, and Malik doesn't quite catch the clip there. The first aid will come on through, but it's spotted on the off angle as Federalis falls first, and BTR may have just found the end of their road into this match and potentially the day. Federalis is the first to fall. Will there be more? Because there is still answers. There is still life left in the home team as Razy looks to clap a shot over their way towards 721, as well as Aura could potentially backstab onto 721's position.
Razak was incredibly low, managed to get the first aid kit off there. Another nade goes forward. He's able to just about luck out of it. They did lose Federalis. Heavy hit to the squad. But we already mentioned it, it's just how do they make their way through here? This is such a difficult rotation for BTR. E-Arena may have got the better of it down towards that south side, but they're still dealing with GOAT, who are swirling on that southwest edge, a whirlpool of goats.
Is a really difficult wall to try and get past. Those Ladriera ridgelines, those valleys, notoriously difficult to traverse, to get across laterally. And GOAT team, they have the high ground. E-Arena will suffer there. Tough times indeed. 3 players for BTR on the north in the meantime. Gonna try and push their way in, but still very, very tough. 721 do have Horror now to worry about. A little bit closer to home. Malik goes down first. Horror doing well. Sleepy not quite able to stay standing on this one. Rayhan does a lot of damage there. Confirms the flush. Masku not quite connecting either, but Horror have gone very, very low. They started out their day incredibly strong. Blank Sky put up so many eliminations in that first game over on Rondo, but they might close down their day a lot more quietly as 721 look to push them aside.
I mean, Horror's just had really no say in since that Rondo, and that Rondo indicated an incredible demon of a team from Horror, but they were exercised quite quickly from that match onwards. Sad to see. No Fear likely to go next with Sleepy taking a dirt nap earlier. Masku from 721 looking to push on through, a team that wants more points. They're at the top of the tables currently. Next circle coming through right now, and it's on top of Aurora Gaming.
Oh, that's going to help them out nicely, but the north side is just continuously getting battered by these circle rotations. Everybody trying to march their way forwards and no one having a good time of it. As we take a look at the west edge, this is the last player now from GK who's managed to survive quite a while. Ragnarok hoping that it's not a cataclysmic end for them. GK in 7th place though. Very possible for them to stick it and stay amongst the top contenders, potentially moving into tomorrow. 4 Thrives, however, on that northeast side on 60 points. They're still as 4, and they're moving in relatively uncontested compared to a lot of other teams trying to make their push.
Yeah, 4 Thrives just had no problems from Mikado to get towards this location. They are passing by 721 into Boom's territory. Flash is behind them, but again, just no one giving them any problems. Good shots from Zerich over towards Ayato. E-Arena's been skirting around this location for a long time, just trying to find an entryway.
Project are the ones to roll up, and GOAT team get a answer over towards Zerich. They try and roll forwards. TT Project sending over the ridge lines, needing to find more picks off on towards GOAT team, but Ephius goes down first, and Neos needs to bear the pressure, but can't quite stand up. Force pushes him back, and Focus can get rezzed up here. Zerich will get flushed, Neos will get taken down, and they are left on 1 player standing. GOAT team rally around the position.
4 Thrives, man, they keep going strong right now. It looks like they're not stopping anytime soon as they take out 721. Ulf lost a play on the side.
From a distance, waiting for someone to make a misplay. Maybe they can chime in later on, but Furia not giving them an inch. Silence does back up a little bit into the danger zone, but stays alive for now.
Ulf going down at a critical moment of their tournament journey here. Kedge is out, and that's Ulf down in this game, finishing their run on the first day at 42 points. 721 finished at 46. 4 Thrives, on the other hand, looks like this team's just getting started.
They have got a brilliant lineup position. The positions out to the east may cause them problems, but right now everyone's content to wait for these teams on the west side to figure things out on their own. S2G is still in this one as well, Blank. They've got 1 elimination so far on the southeast side, but they need to put themselves back to full fighting force, which it looks like they have been able to do here. 4 players now on side from the southeast.
Flash has been so incredibly slow on this northeast edge. not moving in, and Fourth Rise opens up over towards Boom. Finds a knock and keeps them at bay. Circle goes center. Once again, Aurora just sat out towards that western side. They're currently on a throne, and they're looking to reign over the lobby from this position.
Boom. Wanting to find the res, but S2G not giving them the time to do so. Hamzy in and amongst it. The nade looks beautiful, but it just misses the knock. How on earth does he defend himself from that? Goodness me. A sliver of HP, but that's huge news for S2G. If he goes down there, that is basically confirmed as a flush. There's no way, really, without just going for a full assault into Boom's position, that they get him back.
Get themselves out of dodge for the time being, as Boom scared a little bit over towards this northern side. Starting to worry about it slightly. Send a scout from Sanju that way, but again, Flash is just slowly moving their way over. It is a sluggish pace that Flash is setting this game.
Not the sort of pace you need to be pulling out. On the east side, their last chance for today to earn those points that they so desperately need now in 15th place. Really bringing up the rear when you discount Pandem, and I think at this point most people do. The crash into the middle could potentially be on the cards, but nobody wants to go first. From the ring that sits around Pandem, it's keeping them safe. Furia spotted again, and Aurora picking up more points, or at least attempting to.
This is why the pace has been slow. The Flash has no vehicles, no mobility. They're having to do this on foot at the moment. T24 sending some long-range ordnance over towards game start. Just underneath them, Flash is spotted, and T24 catches him slacking. They're right on the edge. It's too easy.
Do get an answer though, and that might allow them to move a little bit further forwards with Zeus and Top Z. Both looking to put the pressure in. Win will be able to get the heal off, so Flash are back to fighting form, and T24 has yet to get res there, Blank. So a diminished position for Fourth Rise. They haven't committed for this res. Boom could move over the headland as well, because they do need to get a little bit closer, and they'd love to third party on this engagement. Flash still slow without those vehicles.
I think for Fourth Rise right now, this is giving time for them to get this res through. The Fourth Rise, if they go down early in this game, it is fantastic news for the likes of Furia, 7-2-1 go, as well as Aurora on their chase, just because tomorrow gets a lot easier. Furia is down, actually. Second place, only able to put up 48 points today. 12 points, well, 14 points once again with those 2 extra points added this game for Fourth Rise. Ooh, it's going to be rough tomorrow.
Again, that 48-point boundary wouldn't have been considered safe when we were talking about fourth place bubbles in survival stage. So the fact that that's the second place position right now, potentially to be leapfrogged by GOAT or maybe Aurora behind them, but still, the fact that that's in second place right now after 6 matches, that's quite incredible. That is a really, really level lobby, with the exception of Fourth Rise, who look to stretch their legs more.
It goes down. Flash takes a fair bit of damage there as Boom continues to try and ward them off this position, but Fourth Rise is just living life to the maximum. Both teams refusing to look at them right now, and they desperately need to.
Ooh, T24 real slick with it there, but they're not quite able to slip the bullets around the headland. That nade tags the bottom, tags the low ground. The high ground's getting battered as well. Team Flash need to stay up, need to stay alive to push this one across.
Nice.
They've got a distance to go. A Cypher falls first to a nade coming over the top. In the meantime, S2G, they have been blasted back to, I believe, just one and potentially none fairly soon on the western side. Just Hamzy left remaining. Aurora flexing out to deal with it. Zjol has the challenge, but doesn't manage to win it. That's pretty nasty stuff. Top, though, stepped up to the plate. Can he succeed where Zjol could not? No! Hamzy with a 2-foot on the sidelines will be able to step up in Aurora's position. All of a sudden, gets taken down to 2 players alive.
That's terrible news for Aurora Gaming. This was starting to be a massive match for them. For Fourth Rise, Boom, as well as Team Flash, have basically taken each other out. Well, I think it's Boom more than anything, trying to force their way down towards Team Flash, who know they need to deal with 4 Thrives. But Boom consistently causing issues.
IQ, T24 now with the last player of Team Flash over the ridgeline. Spots the head, T24 wants it. The shotgun doesn't quite land. The heal does go through, but the damage is just too much. Team Flash go down, get eliminated. 4 Thrives with 6 eliminations now. Goat Team with 9 though, although they are flagging on this western edge with 1 player knocked. They need to pick it back up. Aurora though, fortunately, cut in half by Hamzy from S2G.
For 4 Thrives, it's going to be a hell of a lead at the end of this game because they're getting further and further towards that top side. Only Maniac from GameStar over towards this northern edge, and he seems to be spotted by IQ.
T24 has been such a dominant sightline for this roster on this match. It feels like we've seen brilliant things coming through from Hazaifa, IQ as well. Now needed to stand with his team, and that is beautifully dispatched around the edge. Another elimination, another team down, more placements on their tally. Blank, it's not just Falak on this team. For 4 Thrives, moving into this tournament, a star player. Sure, but Hazaifa, T24 and IQ have absolutely proven their mettle.
Absolutely, and Doc goes down to focus. For 4 Thrives, you're right, Falak versus Rosemary, all the rest of these things, all centered around Falak. The guy's a great player, insane nades overall, but T24's been lighting the lobby up. IQ's been around since the longest time and is still kicking super strong with the lobby. Hazaifa has brought a whole new bit of magic to the squad, and 4 Thrives looking to continue here in this match.
It's only Reefus on the inside now for Aurora. They are not in the zone in this position anyway for Reefus. Does need to start to lob down. And Pandem, by the way, Blank, have been given the freest top 5 game of their entire lives here. Just sat down there, not worried about a thing. Big chillin' right now in the Valley, but they're going to have to leave at some point.
0 points in the game either. Pandem has played a very slow match. Nice shot from Reefus with the MG3. Underneath, Ghost starts to try and find some shots. Another one from Reefus on minimal ammo. He is accurate as anything.
But can they flex out and get that flush? I don't think so. With Goat Team right there, they can't push in, but they just keep going. Reefus, he's only got 17 rounds left in it though, Blank, and the MG3 may be bled dry here. 1 more player for Goat Team on the inside. They've gotten pretty far into this match and will be in contest for the top spot, but in the meantime, 4 Thrives get the res. Will Pandem find a chicken dinner here, Blank?
Potentially. At the end of the day, Pandem finding something. Be great for their totals. El Baril will find Moxie, removes that away, and now eliminated. Down to 4 Thrives. El Baril, well, as Aurora, desperate for a win here, right at the end, right at the finish line, but versus Pandem, how can they do it? You see that Aurora Gaming so low on ammo, but rocking MG3 and M249, that's one way to go about it. But T24 unleashes upon the likes of Aurora, and they're down in 4th. Our 4 Thrives looking for the back-to-back, the triple chicken dinner on the day.
El Barrel, low HP. I don't think he's got much left in the tank either. Wait for the peak, the nade up, and Pandem now stepping up to the plate. The deepest
No way!
But IQ finds one, and that is a huge pickup. A 2v2, the nade not going the distance. 4 Thrives could potentially take half of the games today with a chicken dinner here. A 2 versus 2 is possible, but IQ's down. And T24 with a 1 versus 1. Weapon swap with the shotgun around his teammate.
He finds it!
He gets it done, and 4 Thrives do so much, go so far. Is there nothing these guys can't do? At the top of the tables, this is a smash team if I ever did see.
A 3 for today. Incredible stuff from them. 3 chicken dinners, 3 out of the 6. It looks unsurmountable for any of a squad going into tomorrow. Their score count will be so high.
They pushed up. I think they're somewhere around 80 points after this one, Blank. A marvelous close down for T24, and that is exactly what we were highlighting during that match. It is not just Balak, it is not just Hazaifa, it is every single player on this team that has clutch potential, that has firepower, that has the gonads to take this home. These guys, they are the pride of Pakistan, and they should be standing tall right now.
Incredible stuff from this team, and they had their eyes on this trophy. 4 Thrives have mental performance. Now the guys on the desk, they've set it up very well, John. The top 5 essentially need a 30-point game. There's a lot of teams to take that here.
We'll see if anyone else can try and slip through the cracks as well. Oro were able to take down a player from 4 Thrives early in 7-2-1. Will lose most of their slate as well in the fight with Flash, who play on 3 Elim points now. BTR managing to rack up a point, or a knock certainly, to start things off. Gaming Stars will feel the brunt of the pressure coming through from Razak. A nice spray down for 2. BTR going to pick up the points.
Much needed points as well down at the bottom of the table. It's currently in 14th, just lapped TT Project. Furia finding Reefus. Horror continues to go crazy over towards GK Razy with a rundown. It's all popping off here at the 2026 PMGO.
They get a 3rd point to add to their tally. And they're going to roll on forwards now, moving towards that center of the circle. I saw 7-2-1 potentially get caught into a sticky spot over towards Hangshan, but it looks like that recall will be able to come through for 7-2-1. One of our teams really on last chance saloon right now. One of our top 5 contenders to potentially push all the way, so going down to 1 player this early, not great, but they have managed to get those recalls going on through now.
Aurora currently surrounded by Boom. Make the move in, top goes down, and Yumi will grab him. Straight 1v1-2, nice shots. Aurora, no fear. Running up against the 2 players from 4 Thrives up top. 4 Thrives, remember, they need 10 points to get into the Smash zone. If they cannot reach that target this game, they'll have to go again in the next. And Smash won't be in effect until match 3. For 4 Thrives, a Rondo is always a great place to get those initial 10 points.
Fortunately, they lost a player earlier on in this fight, remember, Blank. That had to get recalled out all the way over in, I think, pretty
Neox.
close to in Neox, right?
Yeah.
So now they're sort of playing as 2, although there is a 3rd player regrouping onto it, trying to move in on the north side. So potentially Ora could be under threat.
There's a very smart strategy, right? What you do is Hazaifa sits over towards Neox Factory, right? He loots up whilst waiting for the team to conclude their fight. Once he's looted, then he reses Falak, and they rotate him in. Because now they have another looted member in the engagement. IQ opens up towards Kamikaze, and that is 1 point closer to the 92-point threshold.
Looking to keep that pressure going on towards the outside. Ora going fairly low as BTR gets stuck into another scrap on the south area. Looking to try and keep control of that one. Nice and early on the game. Hazaifa does get spotted and flushed away though. And that's going to potentially be that recall being necessary to bring him back into the fight.
Yep, then we rotate Falak in afterwards, but losing a player there is rough, but another point added to the tally of IQ. Apparently just trying to find eliminations wherever they can. They didn't say they'd be changing their playstyle all that much today. They said they were just going to keep it exactly what they were doing yesterday. Just push and push and push. And to be honest with you, yesterday was fantastic. Yesterday was an insanely good day. So if they can even recreate that a tiny bit, they should be fine. Boom. Jabrenki goes down.
Uma doing pretty well to kick things off. They're up some decent points total. Furia not so lucky. Caught out in the open. Down to one player now. Ulf, they had some real high points in yesterday's matches, Blank, but they didn't quite push all the way. They were in first place at one point, and they'd love to get back there, but the gap that sits between them and Four Thrives is just so monumental, as it is for every single other team. Igor, over by Test Track, unlikely to be able to get the recall there, with Four Thrives having 2 players on spot.
There's another.
Just added a 3rd point. Blank, 7 more points now needed.
Slowly gaining their way up there. Alaku moves out. BTR, Razy actually able to hold on, and very, very swiftly too. Will start to go down on the upstairs, and Alaku should be picked up here. BTR have a little bit of a last-ditch approach to that one on 7-2 as the rest of the team did move their way in. Octa will run down Sleepy. Aura, it's not a bad start to their game, 4 eliminations, but now we'll need to get a move on, get some more players back up again. BTR trying to confirm over towards a strong position in the center. Four Thrives will need to regroup eventually. Currently playing 2-2 over towards Neox Factory, and then further down towards that southwest edge.
Rolling in Yulin right now. We saw Sky be so dominant in these early game engagements yesterday. It was really quite terrifying. Couldn't quite move through the rest of the day with such fearsome bite behind his bark. Now they're looking to keep this pressure up with 4 eliminations. You're right. I mean, it's not a terrible start. We'll see if they can keep this one moving, though. It was Furia who really gathered momentum into the later part of the game. And now they're back up as 4. They're playing on the northeast side, and actually, they're playing in between the Four Thrives 2-2 split right now, potentially looking to put pressure on the Neox Factory flank.
Grenade sent over the top by Scarface. Bashes the vehicle out of the way and actually gives him an open target over towards Doc. And this is a difficult position to be going down now for Aurora, because you're already centered up. The odds that you getting yourself another res beacon, quite limited. They're going to have to send out far, but that does mean they're giving up a central position on this one. Ulf quite happy with the way this game's going so far. 4 eliminations, nice central position. Seems that all players have some decent loot on board too.
Joel sending a little bit further out, so he will go for that recall tower on the other side of S2G. Four Thrives, they found another out in the open, and that's against Furia. They're going to be wary of this enemy, though. They know that they can't give too much ground here, and they're playing as a duo. Another flush would be huge, though, for them. It would just, again, bring them closer to that mark. They'll add it to the tally, and on they go. They're going to have to move south with a circle shift, Blank.
I think there's a very stark difference from yesterday to today already in terms of where these players are going. Beforehand, it was very unlikely to see teams sending center so quickly. There was a lot of edge play, which allowed Four Thrives to dominate towards the center of the map. This time, not the case. No fear, can't quite find the shots over towards the boys over on Boom, and Yummy having a good time of it the first match.
Tasty with the corner play there. Focus also getting knocked in the meantime for GOAT. Remember, such a powerhouse player to lose that at this point, not ideal. As we hop over to a very central position here, Ulf looking to take control of the west side of this compound with BTR sitting opposite them. BTR are playing as 3. Ulf do, I believe, have all 4 of their players alive. So it could potentially be difficult if BTR want to try and push through, but I don't imagine that they do. Not all the way, at least.
Unfortunate EMP zone over towards the northeast side, going to make rotating in a little bit more difficult for Furia. Might just have to wait this one out as they come in towards the southwest. You've got Ulf here playing in a decent position. Sadly for them, they don't have a huge amount of capability to get eliminations around this area because they're playing towards a small dip right now. It's fairly sloped around that area. And honestly, if Ulf want to make the big run, right, if they want to go the distance, they need those eliminations. So they might have to wait them out a little bit here. Four Thrives now on their way in, but they're a little bit later than the rest of the teams. Again, a lot of squads tend to slow things down coming in on the second day when you are in contention for that match point, right?
especially after having already got 4 eliminations. They are now 6 points away from breaking into that smash point area, which is so important. You can rack that up, looking to get in towards the top 5 and getting 2 more eliminations. Very, very possible for them to just try and play this one much slower or get the elims as they come, because that's what Yummy's doing. For Boom, they have been pretty brutal on the bottom side, and that is Aura completely out. Eliminated there, 10th place locked in for them.
A very different start to their day than yesterday. Aura was dominating, looked like a demon within the lobby. Irina moves up, Tony K does go down, but not before. They do find a knockover towards Flash in the first place. Bose will finish off the player up front in Tony K. For the Flash, it was a little bit of an awkward regroup here for them, but they managed to get themselves all over. There was a couple of players over towards that northwest side, but they are now in position. We have quite a bit of water down towards that south side. Mormon's going to get the recall, but this is far out the zone, dude. This is a long journey in.
8 eliminations, by the way, Blank, leading the lobby by a margin of 3 at least. And a hard south shift. Ooh, that water gap is nasty. The rotates around this area. I don't think it's going to be pretty. I don't think a lot of teams are going to be happy with this. And a lot of area on that southwest side is completely unoccupied.
Well, it's hard, right? Because now you're forced in a situation where you sort of have to rotate over towards the southeast. If you want to make it round, you could make a late decision now to try and take the bridges on the west side. But if you are the likes of Ulf, if you are like the BTR, it is difficult to make that rotation. 4 Thrives might have just found an opening here. There is a small gap in the circle down towards the southwest. This is where I feel like 4 Thrives do their best work, where they could just make the send, but they're being a little bit cautious about this.
The reason I think they're being cautious is because they're only in 1 vehicle right now. All 4 of them were in the same vehicle, moving down on the eastern side. Grab another vehicle, try and split your bet, right? Hedge it a little bit and go in separately. I think that's what they've managed to find now, though, and they imagine that they're going to be trying to send in a little bit faster at this point.
Making the cross, making the rotate in. For 4 Thrives, going to keep an eye on them just because they are such an important team to take a look at. 7-2-1, we'll see if they take shots over towards 4 Thrives, but it seems they're just letting them pass calmly. Nades coming down from Boom. Boom's in an extremely good spot. S2G rotated towards that south side and have now found themselves in a fight with Boom for one of the most contested areas on the map.
And I don't think that they can push up the hill now, Blank, with TT Project pushing in the west, Aurora and 4 Thrives potentially crashing into this. It is such a difficult set of ridges to try and summit. Everybody's going to take shots at you as you try and go up, and Boom can just let you throw yourself across those rocks.
It's a good spot to play. I mean, down here on this side of the map is all right. Kind of isolate those angles because on the other side, the bank is kind of sloping upwards. So what that does is give you a little bit of isolation. You're going to need some cover off the back of this, though. Vehicles are going to have to go down. You might need some emergency cover flares. But for teams over towards your western side, it's not terrible. GameStar's finding Pandem right now, and Pandem just having a bad time of it. Yesterday, they were able to get themselves a 2nd place. But it really should have been a chicken dinner there versus 4 Thrives, but so slow to strike in those final moments.
1 player on the inside now, and 2 players to try and mash up. He's doing a lot of work, though. A GOAT team are getting knocked for 6 by the team at the bottom of the tables. Dubrin does so much now, but his focus,
no.
And he can't find it either. Dubrin, was that a 1v4 against GOAT?
I mean, Jabrenki is a good player. He gets it done well. Getting the 1v4 is kind of crazy before he goes down. We'll dig the graves alongside with them. Furia now making their approach. 4 Thrives. They've got a split here. This is a nasty cross angle. Furia need to assault one of these positions and fast, but they don't know if it's 2 teams or just for 1. And Furia will lose 1. Obviously for 4 Thrives, this is a massive deal because this is the chasing team.
But the 2 players have been knocked over on 4 Thrives. IQ and Hazaifa have both been knocked here, Blank. With 6 elims, though, they are so close to that boundary. And T24 puts another on the tally.
3 away.
Furia fall. That's their 2 closest competitors now out of this game.
3 away. Falak needs to move over to the 2 players underneath. Boom is sending across with Yummy, though. Was looking for a little scout here. There's 3 eliminations, 3 flushes. But Boom doesn't want to assault. BTR, though, continue their stretch on the northeast side as the arena moves up. 1 goes down, and the 2nd is good, too.
Axel with a chance, does manage to tag Arena on the back line, get the flush in as well. BTR up to 7, steps forwards with the shotgun, but the shots from up the top window there, just too powerful, and BTR are overwhelmed. In the meantime, teams have been trying to pick up their feet because the circle brings us back towards that water.
Very unlikely it's going to end on the northern side right now. If teams want to play a survival play, they can head over towards the bank over on the northern side of Boom. Potentially be a really rough circle, a lot of unplayable. Right now, Aurora holding a very good compound down towards the southwest side, but the question is how long it's going to be in play for. 7-2-1 next up to the play. Fourth Riots can profit off this one as well. IQ sends some shots in. Malik, though, opens up through the smoke. Great shot. Alaku out. 8 eliminations now for Fourth Thrives. Getting closer and closer to top 8. Can they get 92 this match?
This is looking gnarly, Blank. They might be able to throw that door open with such a small point difference as well. They just need to survive into the placements. That is such a huge focus that they can draw on now to just get themselves over that line. Get up into 6th place. Very, very possible in a circle like this with so many teams that still need to push their way in.
Boom is so unwilling to push this as well just because they're fending off S2G at the same time. So Fourth Thrives very much safe by the fact that S2G is looming off in the distance here, and Boom is desperate to hold on to this compound that sits atop the hill. Very, very interesting turn of events. 7-2-1 now making a quick run across, but there's a restabilization coming from Fourth Thrives. Not sure they were ready to shoot in that moment. Masku gets up to a hard bit of cover.
Safe for the time being. You've still got the rest of Arena to come in from that eastern side, though, and 7-2-1 may feel it. Gaming Stars as well from the south. Fourth Thrives can chill out a little bit. The north side seemingly not willing to make a move just yet. Gaming Stars could push 7-2-1, and it's an unfavorable fight with Fourth Thrives that may just push them all the way over that boundary. IQ, he spots the Arena moving off in the distance.
This is so funny to me that you're having this situation that anytime a team tries to aggress on Fourth Thrives, suddenly that team is getting third-partied or they're being held out. So Fourth Thrives is essentially guarded by 4 separate teams at the moment. No one can make their way over to them.
They have such a stronghold here. IQ picks up. Was that a knock? Was that a flush? I think it was just a knock so far, but they would love to find more. Another team goes down and 1 step closer to the placement points. 7-2-1 have Malik down out in the open. I think that was the knock that IQ was able to find for Fourth Thrives. The circle gives them the loop as well, and it's going to push it right over towards the Pakistani team. They are having the time of their lives right now.
This is 100% match point. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind at this point with Falak and the rest of Fourth Thrives just in this gorgeous position, protected by so many squads on the outside. And this is when you have to change up the game. You have to hunt down these teams, and they're just making it so hard for themselves to even gain more points on the day. Because now you open up a Fourth Thrives win at any point.
I'm looking up the question of the north side here, Blank. What are Team Flash and Ulf going to do? They could potentially try and ruin Fourth Thrives here out on that eastern side. I think for Ulf, it's probably more likely. Team Flash may be a little bit more of an outside chance, but there's another knock going over and through. That means another team is out, and we are into placements now. They have guaranteed at least 1 more. 2 more teams need to go down for them to jump up to 2 placements, or a single elimination is what they're looking for.
Just 1 point required now for Fourth Thrives. A very, very simple game for them, and they have information, general localization over towards GameStar as well. For Fourth Thrives, this could not have gone better for them on this game. And again, they're just a team that's willing to make these pushes.
Wolf finding a spot over towards Team Flash, who have sent 2 of their players across the water on the swim. Got their trunks on. Ulf trying to move in behind them now, though, and it may just be too difficult. There is still a little sliver of that northern side in play, which does make their life a little bit easier.
Getting a knock over towards Boom is nice, though. That's going to open things up because now they only have 2 guns to face here. Fourth Thrives might look over towards Ulf. It's an important team to take shots over towards. Solus is popped out the back of the vehicle, but they get underneath the bank.
9, they've got it. Blank, they've got it. They've got that extra elim now, and 4 Thrives are into the match point with the placement that they'll earn off this game guaranteed. It's very likely that one of those teams on the north goes down soon as well, with Team Flash on the ropes. Top C goes down. We're on 7 teams now remaining, and they are starting to burn through these players.
Just no one's looking at this squad. I mean, it's the important squad to look at, and there feels like there's just been absolutely no attention paid to this team. It's mind-boggling, because it's the squad that needs to go out in this first match on Rondell the earliest. It's unfortunate, it really is. Ulf still doing well though, as best as they can. Boom up to 8 points on this. They passed that 9th point barrier. Octa finding a shot over towards Falak though.
It's super resible. They're just so safe on this eastern side. I think you're right, teams haven't pushed into them. I think their position though in this match, with these circle shifts specifically, has been pretty unassailable, right? With solid holds, it's been very, very difficult.
Yeah.
The only team that might have been able to do it was Furia earlier on.
Or 7-2-1. I think most of the time when it's come down to it, it's just been other teams third-partying the squad, going for 4 Thrives, and realistically they set themselves up well, where they have to play on this bank edge, right? Where they have the entirety of this circle over towards the eastern side. They know it's clear, so there's going to be no team shooting them from the back. So we do have to give them credit for that. They place themselves in a position where it's other teams that are going to get assaulted and not them. They're at the back of the queue when it comes to those engagements. Now the real test, 4 Thrives versus Ulf, because with that hard shift over towards the northwest side, that look now seems to be dwindling away from the Pakistani team, but they've already found match point. So their job's technically already done here.
How much further can they go, though? Because even if you do get past match point, remember, you do have to then subsequently get a chicken dinner to get that smash victory, right? And that isn't as simple as just doing it. You have to take those spots. You have to take those knocks, take those fights. So points still very much could come into play here for 4 Thrives. They would love to put more distance between them and Fury. As it sits, they're at least 42 points ahead. So they're making the push. Tasty. A big push, not coming through from 4 Thrives though. It's coming through from Gaming Stars. The Turkish team now look at us slam straight on into the position. But 4 Thrives have managed to heal it up. IQ goes for 1. IQ looks for more, but has to fade back away. The rest of his team now to pick up the mantle, and they are mincing through Gaming Stars. They put themselves in. The red highlight on the kill feed comes through.
This is just so good from 4 Thrives. An unbelievable performance from them. From yesterday, coming into today, Noki said, we're not going to change anything. We're just going to keep going. We don't want to stagnate. We want to stay on fire on these matches, and they certainly have here. There is a bonfire lit beneath the feet of the Pakistani squad. So cool to see here from 4 Thrives. And no one else even takes a look in. Technically, their rotation in is not that terrible.
I mean, if you're Boom, I don't think you really need to be stepping out here. They are just holding down their compound. They've profited so much off this. 10 eliminations.
The thing is here, with the speed at which they're differentiating themselves from every single squad in the lobby, I think at this point in time, the only way another team wins this by the end of match 6, if we get there, is by smash.
They're going to have such a lead. A knock comes through. Octa finally chiming in. A second will be found. More knocks raining down the hill. Falak and T24 could potentially be going down here, but the rest are going to come through as fast as they can pick them back up. Ulf have not been able to move all the way forwards. IQ will keep it together a little bit. There's that first nest, and a huge nade from up on high. Boom! Blast away the tournament leaders. Ulf are there to pick up the scraps. And a huge nade comes in. What on earth was that? What on earth from IQ? He's able to blast them back. He says, no, you're not stepping to us today.
IQ taking the nade genius test, and he comes out on top with a double there onside. Fantastic work from him playing as a backstop. 16 points. Like I said, the only way 4 Thrives lose this tournament is to a smash.
And every other team that was chasing did do super well here. Ulf was the closest team. They've just got taken down. They are not going to be anywhere near them at the end of this match. You're absolutely right. The
They
question
have
is,
double their
points.
points. Exactly. Exactly double the second place
question
team's
is,
points.
how solid is that 92 boundary?
The real question, I mean, again, this is the thing though, Rondo was that map to get the 30 points. It's not as available on other maps. You have to try so much harder, put in so much extra work because the res beacons aren't there. And with 4 Thrives being so far ahead, it's the mental game now. These guys, they are having a leisurely day out here at PMGO. There's no pressure whatsoever. They know that even if they just get to match 6 and perform kind of well, they still win.
Boom, take a knock from S2G. Blank, I think this is probably the most dominant points gap we've seen since 2019 in Malaysia with BTR, who I think like 100 points. Obviously, the point scoring system was different back then, but it's the most crazily dominant points gap we've seen since 2019. And I would say it may be even crazier than that.
Big 4
Be
Thrives.
able to do it here.
Got something to prove. Boom, though, similarly, trying to go for the same thing. The team yesterday, they didn't do horribly. And I don't think they performed up to expectation. Now looking to push themselves further up those tables. Through Rondo, Solke goes down, and honestly, this sort of was the winning position from the start of the match. Boom, took it in both their hands and have not let go since.
Trying to keep it together though with their 3 players now remaining. Another nade over the top, Solke is low, and that's going to finish him off. Another point added to Boom's tally. Blank with a chicken dinner here, they would jump up in towards second place and be the closest competitor towards that smash boundary. So for Boom, there's a lot on the line here. S2G and TT Project sit in their way. But this is also a big game for TT Project, remember, because they're trying to jump up and get in towards that 11th place.
Did Boom raid the armory? How are they coming into these final fights with 12 nades total? Good damage, good shots coming through from Neo. Sanju finally goes down and his reign of terror is over, but the nades keep pouring through. The airburst not quite finding the damage, but they've still got more to send, but Boom is down on their knees.
Getting the res now, they need to pick themselves back up. S2G still trying to put nades uphill, but it's not going to work. TT Project with 16 nades, but not quite in range of either team just yet, as Boom look to flex out. Get a little bit more of a foothold on the low ground as they rotate onto the north side, but TT Project have read this. They're going to drop through as well, and S2G seem to be eating the brunt of this rotational pressure.
TT Project, the Vicious's lives lie in their hands, and right now they're looking to put them down. Good shots over towards Octo, trying to create a forward position for the rest of the squad. El Beryl, as well as Sanju though. 2 players you cannot scoff at here. Sanju consistently having good nades, and there's another.
Looking for more as well. Boom, if they get into second place here, Blank, they will be able to jump up into second place, but Lost is still in the fight. And it's all down to the one player for Boom, and he's taken a lot of damage. There's more nades still coming. This first nade needs to be big, and he's just about survived it. One more nade and one more smoke may be all it takes, but Boom have run the cupboard dry. No more nades in pocket. TT Project is starting to go low as well, though.
El Beryl, it's a 1v3. Not to mention the 2 players behind move slightly forward, but into the purview of the nades. An unfortunate step up coming through from Boom, but they end their game on 14 eliminations into 3rd place. It's not terrible. S2G, it might be a little late to be stepping up now, guys.
A TT Project, this is their game to push up into 11th place with another nade over the top on towards Lost. It's just Hamzy now remaining, and he is caught taking a dirt nap. The shots to the back will shut it down, and for TT Project, this could be their EWC spot on this game.
It's on the cards for them now, but the biggest story of all, 4 Thrives doubling the point scoring from 2nd place, getting into match point. Game 1, how short is this day going to be?
I mean, that was an impressive display coming through from 4 Thrives. They put themselves in such a strong position. They did everything they needed to do, but now it's chicken dinners that really matter.
They can make a quick pass over towards Ferry Pier, wherever they like.
Where do you go on this position then? If you're 4 Thrives, if I'm putting myself in the mind of 4 Thrives, I'm looking at the circle, I'm knowing we're going to have a really early position. Is it a North Quarry?
You could play Quarry Split around the warehouses easily. I mean, that wouldn't be a terrible place to play. You don't want to get stuck in too early there, but there is certainly compounds to work with here. You could even try and head over towards the kind of the God compound that sits north of the roads, just to the northwest side of Quarry. Also not a terrible place to play, but it looks like TT Project's already heading over there now.
I mean, I'm just so preoccupied with what 4 Thrives are doing in this match. I mean, there is a lot of moving parts in the rest of this tournament as well, of course, with those qualification spots that mean so much on the road to EWC for a lot of teams. I mean, we talked, right, about TT Project, who now up in 8th place, 42 points. 11th place is 36 points. It's still very flexible there. For TT Project, they just want to hold on to that. They want to hold that spot. And funnily enough, they are the other team who is right at the front of the queue getting into this next circle.
For some of our decent teams right yesterday, match 4 is around about when they hit that 40-point mark. So even that, for the likes of Ulf, for the likes of Furia, wouldn't be enough to put them above 92 points. So for these 2 squads, even 4 really, when you're looking at Ulf, Furia, Go, Boom, Aurora 721, because of this point sponge at the top, you need a massive match. You really need a massive match here. A 20-pointer, and then you need 4 Thrives to go down. Like I said, I do not see this getting to match 6 without 4 Thrives just winning off points alone. The only way they lose is via smash ruling.
It's yeah, definitely their main threat is from that angle. I was taking a look at some of the point scorings as well in terms of EWC qualification numbers, and at this stage, with RRQ obviously not playing anymore, they got knocked out in a bit of an upset back in their group stage. If BTR get 11th place or higher, it's very likely that there's no way that they can fall down. There's chasers in the game, sure, but Team Flash are already ahead of them. Arena are already ahead of them. They're very likely also have locked in their spots for EWC. Pandem, kind of counting them out as well, but it is all up to how Boom do. Can they jump up high enough to jump past that boundary?
With the point sponge being in play as well for Boom, they just don't really need to go that much further. At this point in time, you're kind of expecting for Boom being in 5th place, it'd be like a 10 to 15 point margin, if not more, to get towards 3rd. Not only has 4 Thrives made this look like one of the most dominant performances of all time, they've also made getting into PMWC rather easy.
It's an interesting
for other
one.
teams, that is.
It's an interesting one. I mean, yeah, that 3rd place spot for Boom is really what is on their minds right now. In terms of jumping up, that would put them over
Which is
RRQ.
1 point, by the way.
Exactly. Right, it's so close. 1 point is them into 2nd place, right? Potentially, depending on chicken dinner counts and tiebreakers and things like that. But yeah, it's so down to the wire, and these EWC points will really start to hit home for Boom. It would be such a huge result for them to jump up that far. And the reason that they don't need to go in towards that position necessarily is because of how BTR are doing. They're fairly low on the point scorings. There's a 90, well, currently Boom have 0 points in EWC. They're going to be needing to exceed Bigatron, and Bigatron are on 19 points right now.
And what with Ulf, our 2nd place team? A chaser of a pretty ridiculous margin right now. Fury and Pandem towards the east and the north of 4 Thrives, who are playing it a little bit slower this time, playing outside on the edge. Gonna work out what their next move is. Really, if they give themselves another southwest shift on this, it's not terrible. They have a lot of space to rotate around, playing Quarry. A lot of Quarry's not picked up just yet. Like I said, going into Quarry a little bit early is not always advised. But if we do get southwest, they have the pick of the litter here.
4 Thrives had the pick of the litter, but they opted to go for Ferry Pier. I say but, maybe shouldn't put that as a prefix. They opted to go for Ferry Pier in this location. It's going to be fairly uncontested. They should be aware of that. They'll be aware that teams will have moved in on the west side of them as well. seems fairly safe for the time being. The transition north, generally though, can be blocked off quite heavily by Quarry, by that location that is going to funnel you around either side, force you into some linear fights with some oversight that you might not be comfortable with.
It all depends on the next circle, right? Because a lot of teams on the Southwest are going to massively benefit from a big Southwest shift. There's already a lot of teams making their way in. Boom is trying to make the cross right now. Like I said, from that first game, a lot of way faster rotations all round. I mean, across the board, people are opting not to play on that edge right now. We have had a full flip-flop on how the lobby's been playing from edge playstyle to suddenly this hugely central position. And again, that comes off the back of 4Thrives, just reading into this lobby very well going into that first day and essentially just dominating from the center.
Started to find that center on this one, although it's not super central. It's sort of quite deceptive on a circle like this, right? Because you've got so much water. The center, quote-unquote center of the circle, sits actually a little bit further north than you might expect. It's actually closer towards Gatka than towards Quarry, where the geometric center of this circle is. The center of the playable land sits a lot further north, which is currently where teams like Gaming Stars sit in this zone, as well as Otter and Boom a little bit further north of that.
I mean, for the center of the circle, though, it is around 4Thrives, GameStar, and Quarry. It does come a little bit down towards that southwest side. So we have a lot of the fields of Gatka in play. Pandem going to pick up that compound that sits over towards the eastern side of Quarry. GameStar playing on those warehouses. 4Thrives a little bit further behind now. They do need to move forward on this one, but we know they have the chops on them to actually get the elims, to take those gunfights, to clear our area, to clear our space. It's what's making them such a terrifying team at the moment.
Project on that south side of Quarry. Close by to 4Thrives. It's 2G navigating their way on that farm coastline, moving in through the blue as well. Got a forward position on it. Aurora just about getting across the west side bridge from Sosnovka military base. Uncontested. No one's camping that one. No one's guarding it out. Geeky may be behind them in the queue though on that angle. Seems like they're going to go for a west bridge rotate as well. Biding their time for the time being. They are just going to play it a little bit slower, closer towards the edge of the blue. Fury up further inland. And again, one of those teams just desperate to get as high up those tables as they can, because the match could end in a chicken dinner for 4Thrives, and our tournament could end with it. You have to make every single match count.
Any moment. I think that is the key phrase here. Any moment this tournament can end, and with 1 point splitting up the entirety of second place down to basically 6th. Yeah, or 7th even, is 2 point splitting second down towards 7th. You can change the state of the podium massively in just one match.
In a decent second place finish, right? And anywhere from basically 9th place could be in second place at the end of this game.
Yeah.
So volatile. We're guaranteed to have had at least 8 matches played. And on the south side, 4Thrives are on a 2-2 split. I will say, I don't think they're in the best place in this game. It might be a tricky one for them to win here. Obviously, never out of the realms of possibility, but given the lay of the circle, with Quarry being such a main feature on the west side, I think this might not be the one to do it.
Well, we just haven't really seen them have a bad game, honestly. Outside of that Ronda, everything else has been like fairly decent. Even the games where they weren't getting the chicken dinners, but just up towards that top 6. Still good games. No real blunders either. I think that's one of my favorite things about watching 4Thrives this tournament, is that there's never been a moment when I've looked at them and thought to myself, that was a huge mistake. It's always felt like, well, that was a tough fight for them to go into, and they lost it rightfully.
102 points. Double the scoreline a second. 4Thrives taking everything that was thrown at them and more. It's straight back at the rest of this lobby. Who were caught lacking yesterday. It felt like Rondo was maybe a little bit more palatable in terms of the overall lobby performance. So we're heading up towards the north side. Maybe this Erangel will be another much more solid overall performance than the rest of our rosters too, because they are trying to make their moves now, and boom. Ooh, they've lost 2 to Nox here. Should be Reserble, but there's a bit of pressure coming through from Otter. They're trying to play this one close. No Fear has been knocked, and Octa wants to keep this one under control.
Ulf now making their way over. They hear the shots. They hear and see the knocks coming through. Sky will find another, but Boom is down so quickly. And for Ulf, this is upsetting for them because they were looking to make the move on this one. Sky is knocked, though. That's a good first knock. A very, very good first knock coming through from Eren. They can play off the back of that and maintain one of the stronger positions in the circle. 4 Thrives. How? How have they done that? They move through Quarry. They get towards the rich side on the top. I don't get it.
Where did they even go? How have they done this? Max is shouting, they teleported there somehow. Nobody knows how, but they are there. And that is quite incredible. Ulf are taking the fight and winning it with honor, by the way. They were able to leverage that opener nicely over on the northeast side of it. And honor are falling. They are falling pretty quickly. A 2-2 split in the center of the circle. And 4 Thrives. Goodness me. Like smoke moved through outstretched hands that everyone else is trying to clamber to grab them, to bring them back to mortal levels, but it's just not happening.
I do not understand it. I cannot comprehend it. For 4 Thrives, it is just magic right now. And we are not seeing behind the scenes. Some incredible calls from this squad. No longer doubting themselves as they did maybe in the past of this tournament. They are just clear-cut comms, and it seems to be working insanely well. Also, the goal to pull off a 2-2 split after that happens, these guys just have absolutely no qualms with taking it to the rest of the lobby at the moment.
This is straight aura farming right now from 4 Thrives. They are absolutely, if you'll forgive my Gen Z parlance here, Blank, they are mogging the lobby. It is really quite impressive what they've been able to pull off here. Furia, I mean, they've been pretty powerful too, right? And if you just forget about 4 Thrives for a second, this is an incredibly close tournament because everybody else is so neck and neck, and they are giving it a good go. Chief wants to step in for the fight as well. Goat Team, one of their most local challengers on the tables, are looking to try and put pressure on, but 4 Thrives have a challenge. It's Aurora who tried to move in from military, up and into the fight. Hezaifa with the weapon.
No way!
And Aurora full. Balak needs to get back to his feet now. They drop the smoke. They rally around it, and all of them are alive. Aurora cannot do it.
There is no one close by either to this. 4 Thrives, just an easy pickup. Pandem finally making a move. The circle moves down towards where 4 Thrives are playing. Pandem need to act fast here, but they are slow on this push-up. 4 Thrives are getting the reset in the meantime.
Goodness me. Nade over the top. T24 wants to get picked up. There's a little assist.
Not again.
From TT Project. They want to lock in their position on the tables as well. And with Pandem going down early, S2G will won. And in they go. A Zypher will fall. There are casualties. Thick and fast. 4 Thrives are falling. Falak now on the backlines is the last player to stand up against it. The nades need to be big. 3 players from S2G and 2 of them roll forwards. 4 Thrives fall. It is not Smash, not now, maybe next time, but they are denied.
John, 4 Thrives. It took 4 bloody teams to take them down.
1 team per Thrive.
Has to happen here. Finally, they're showing a little bit of what this lobby can do, but that's not before blasting Aurora out of this match. Just incredible stuff all round. GameStar will find shots over towards Ulf. Eren goes down. This is the team that was chasing. And they are losing players by the second as they attempted to go for a central push on this one. Ketch is going to send over towards Scarface. See if he can pick him up.
Ulf wanting to try and maintain the central position now.
They will have seen that 4 Thrives has gone down. You can breathe a little clearer now as well.
I mean, remember the Smash boundary too, Blank. That 92 points, whilst maybe not achievable here, is something that they will set their sights on. With this game, they can push for it. Furia with the player numbers here, but Ulf with 3 in a much better position, could potentially look to try and jump up and join them in that match point zone.
I mean, for Ulf, this is the first time in quite a while that I've seen a decisive push like this. There was one yesterday over on Erangel when they headed over towards Middle Island. A very good push from them, but I think they need more of that. And look, yes, they lose a player on the entry, but they realize that they've got to take risks right now. If they want a chance of getting towards that 92 points, they have to make some moves in the lobby. Pandem moving their way up in the similar fashion as Ulf immediately looks to re-bolster that location of the map.
solidify. Sail off there, moving out towards the west edge. Again, remember those moving parts in terms of those EWC qualification spots going into this one. Would very much like to put themselves closer. They've gone all the way out west and actually send Solus into this compound here with Norman from E-Arena. An interesting decision to go for this one, I think it's safe to say. And now the backups here for E-Arena. Ulf maybe overcommit Solus onto this location.
Yeah, it's a curious spot that Ulf sends towards. Understanding it's the priority compound, but Schweppes taking now Solus. I don't know what he was doing out there in the first place. They had central zone. But why?
Very odd feeling there from Ulf. That's going to severely hamper their chances of jumping up towards that smash boundary. Fury are on the south side. They're kind of penned in, and they have to move. Imagine if they were 3 players for Ulf on a circle like this.
It would have been a great game. It really would have been a great game. Getting yourself a high elim chicken dinner as 2 players, very difficult. Getting a chicken dinner as 2 players, that's a different story. But I do think it looks unlikely in a global lobby like this. Flash losing players to BTR. Currently down in 15 for 29 points. A big nade goes through the back, does a fair chunk of damage towards them. Wards them off away from the flash.
Oh, but there's a heavy hit dealt back towards them. BoZ finds Federalis, but there's a rundown. They're trading back and forth, and BTR seemingly in charge of this fight right now. Zeus cannot get towards BoZ. Axel with the split off. Razy and Razak with nades. Looking to be primed here, pulled out towards Team Flash on the off angle. Gaming Stars and 721 clashing in the meantime on our picture-in-picture, but this north side yet to conclude a long-range position for Team Flash, and they are playing as 2.
BTR currently sending out. It's a very obvious position coming through from the guys over on Flash usually, but BTR is going to opt to get further in towards the circle here. E-Arena currently playing off on that southwest side. Have a good chance on this game too. S2G currently isolating sightlines over towards the northeast side. Kamikaze opens up towards Maniac.
Opportunity for Furia to try and punch through the defense on the south side, and TT Project aren't going to slow them down on the first. Maybe look for Ayala and Chief on the second as Effect moves forwards, trying to scout this one out. Ephius is there. Pandem could try and slam into it, but they're closer to the center, and you've got to think they don't really want to get too stuck in. Furia going over their way. Chief back down the hill, back behind the tree. Furia losing one. And the momentum for the chasing teams here, Blank, is really being curtailed. This is great news for our back page, because there is a real chance for them to start to mount the pressure. Silence now the last to stand for Furia, and I don't imagine that he's going to have a great time getting out of this compound. With the surround that TT Project have, with Geeke on the west, with Pandem on the north side, I don't think there's an opening for him. And Furia may fall short here.
Right, Furia down to 1 player. All our chasing teams getting nowhere closer to the top here. It's looking more and more solid for 4 Thrives as time goes on. They may have just done enough already.
Grenades, the roll downs. Team Flash go down, and BTR stay up as 4 on the northern side. Fairly alone right now, and everyone on the south has much more difficult time to go for. S2G are trying to navigate the east edge in the meantime, and Silence isn't done just yet. Now he is. Zerich puts him back.
Goes from Geeke over towards Pandem. Playing up around this valley at the moment. Trying to make it work as best as they can. Geeke will send Kevin as a forward scout for the squad. Oof, it's close. It's close from Neos. But we'll just pick up the hovercraft. Try and get it forward here.
Up on towards, sorry, the flush coming through over onto Solke. Adding to the tally. Wouldn't it be so great if Ulf had 3 players? Anyway, E-Arena have 4 players on the west side on a pretty mega compound for a circle shift like this. It's going to play quite well for them.
It's an indecision, right? I think for Kedge, as well as Aaron, maybe if they back Solus upon that one, they would have a better position on this one. But how can you know it's going to be a hard southwest shift? S2G make the play-in over towards E-Arena, trying to do what Solus failed to do before.
playing up into the ridge. GK yet to really step forwards towards this position, but I think as soon as they do, S2G may just have bitten off more than they could chew. Tony K has the off angle there as well, but Hamzy has his number. Tony K goes down, a lovely little spray down at range. Nades now pouring out towards the backline as Hamzy goes down. E-Arena are handling their business right now though, Blank, and this west side seems a little bit more difficult to navigate than perhaps S2G realized.
And for S2G, it's a good call from them, but a weak assault over towards E-Arena. Obviously coming in from very far away, so the smokes were popped late on this one to deny the sightlines. I think they've done a decent job of trying to set up this engagement. But now E-Arena has all players back up again. Lost takes a really big, hefty amount of damage. And with GK having sights on, this should be easy.
I mean, it's a shooting gallery. S2G just can't move into their locations. The nades are going to force them out into the open, and Lost gets flushed away. It's only a matter of time, I think, before S2G lose their final player. Kamikaze with the nades. Oh, okay. Goes the other side of the burnt-out vehicle. In the meantime, BTR trying to find their way in on the north side. We've also got that duo from Ulf and TT Project out on that east edge. With 6 elims already, Blank, they're looking to go further than 11th place. They could go much further.
And with just how close the scorings are, we keep saying it, but anyone could be anywhere on this table. As GK makes their way up towards 37 points, I think the Pandem's the only team that's really struggling to remove themselves from that 16th place right now. Need a shovel and a pickaxe to do that.
Ooh, okay, TT Project finds Pandem, looking for a little bit more as well. There is some traded damage, and TT Project are on the ropes. GK are trying to roll on in, but that is Pandem going down. 8 eliminations now. TT Project up and at least into 2nd place with the placements guaranteed from the 6th place finish. They will be jumping up to be fairly neck and neck with Furia, and maybe a little bit further over that as well. Nades over the top, and TT Project are piecing themselves back together. GK stall their engines on the roller.
Ulf in trouble, BTR looking for revenge. A nade goes up, but it's not the knock, it's not the flush, and we are in deja vu. It's Eren versus BTR, but this time he cannot stand tall versus the Indonesian squad.
They find the full knockout, and our 2nd place is locked in at 56. Blank. The angle of this points table is just so flat. It is absolutely incredible stuff. GK are going to be into this one late. BTR could potentially jump up into the 40-point bracket with this match. I think TT Project is the only team that, if they win, could keep things a little bit more sloped. But on the east side, they're cut out of this next circle.
BTR going to make this work. It's tough ground to play off the back of, and Neos with some fantastic shots. He has been a real blessing to this squad so far. An Effect finally finding some of that insane fragging power that we maybe lost from him in the past.
They're going in. They're going to look for the crash. Over towards BTR, they know they soften them up. Racy needs to pull one out, does so, but the forward pin cannot find it. Sticks it on the back line, and that is TT Project down. They jump up the tables a little bit, but now the back page has a battle on their hands. Who's going to jump up and be neck and neck with literally everybody else?
2 T's, sad crying face there coming through from Project. 4 teams left alive. S2G, E-Arena currently on 45 points, a team that could jump up towards 2nd place on this game. That a dominant hold over towards this compound for the longest time now.
E-Arena have not let it slip. GK are going to go for the descent though. Kamikaze could be in the way as well. They'll clear him out very quickly. S2G not providing any more boundary, no more buffer for them. 3 players already in, 4 players now for GK. They fully regroup. BTR willing to let this happen. And they are, to be fair, not in a terrible spot. The shack that they have, they can start to move out. With GK gone from that high ground position, they can start to extend a lot more effectively.
For E-Arena, I was just about to bring this up, but the amount of teams that they've had to rebuff from this spot means that utility is low. GK on the other hand, 15 nades to the 2 from E-Arena. All they have to do right now is weather the storm.
E-Arena 5 eliminations, BTR with 7, EK with 4. Anyone with a chicken dinner would push themselves up towards that 40, 50 point boundary. BTR the furthest from it. This is exactly what I wanted from BTR with GK off of that high ground. They have spread out flank. They have put a wall against this fight, and this circle helps them out with that pursuit.
BTR moving forward, seeking no trepidation in these final moments of the match. Looking to take control! Out of the 2 nades that they have left, one is a double, and they open up strongly over towards GK. They may have no more explosives left in hand, but they can get the job done with just the weaponry.
Joker goes down though for E-Arena. Can BTR pull one out the back? No, they're getting flexed off by GK as well. Razy keeps them alive. On the outside, E-Arena cannot go through. That is GK down. BTR need to pull this res back fast. They need to get this healing done. E-Arena are on 3, and Razy's hiding in the grass. The ghillie suit's there, spots one on the roll around, needs to keep his team safe. Foreman steps out, and there's the knock, but there's no teammates left.
We're back to back here from the bushes in the ghillie. BTR looking to do it again on the main stage.
Another nade over the top, and Razy goes low, goes lower. 6 first aids in pocket, but there's another nade. Razak falls, and the last nade from E-Arena will be able to close it down. BTR gave them a good challenge there, but it was the compound on the southwest side that E-Arena held their nerve, and put themselves in the full lobby tiebreaker that sits beneath 4 Thrives.
Ryzen's reincarnation.
Also going to be a little bit easier for teams like BTR, for teams like GOAT Team, who are all the way out in Kameshki and Stalba right now. So a lot more opportunity for them to get in a bit safer, I think it's safe to say, than that last match. Certainly with less competition. But the center of this map is quite full, with Aura, Gaming Stars, and Boom all taking positions around Boatyard, School, and Roshok.
Like you say, over towards this area. Decent rotational path for them. Boom might need to wait a while before they make that rotate. Yeah, a lot of teams yet to hit this circle right now. A lot of teams stretched on their drops here to try and get a better location to play, but that has delayed quite a lot of teams. GOAT significantly over towards Kameshki right now. They'll need to make a late rotate in and likely pass by BTR, who are going to make a very similar rotation from Severny. Yeah, 4 Thrives having a good time of it because they can run this back and know where they went wrong as well.
The ability to download that information quickly, though, is really, really important, especially at this sort of level, right? Adjusting accurately and quickly is such a difficult task. I mean, that's what coaching staff, that's what analyst staff is there for, right? And that is the backbone of any team at this level. How can they bring their team together? How can they impact change? Small adjustments, whilst keeping their team feeling confident. Often, it can be quite demoralizing if you go into your intermatch break and your coach is, trying to change this, trying to change that, and it's happening every game. It can be fairly demoralizing. Sometimes, it can be a better option just to say, you know what? Go again. You guys are really good at this game. I believe in you.
Yeah, well, I mean, for a lot of teams, it is just getting that point of just run it back at this point in time. Eventually, from what past data suggests, it should work at some point. Furia still making their way over towards farm. A significant slowdown from this squad. Hesitant on some of their pushes. There's a squad that has that incredible aggression available to them, but right now the rage is suppressed during these matches. Horror rotating on a very, very close angle to Boom. With no fear getting ahead here, might just be able to set up the barricade for Boom.
But you do run the risk, of course, of getting cut off from the rest of your team, and it looks like that might be coming through. Boom, if they're snappy with it, if they've got their heads on the swivel, might spot this one, as well as Team Flash on the north side and Gaming Stars on the west side of this. Potential to really isolate No Fear in this location for Aura, but he's on the move and will be able to move nice and quickly. Looks like Sanju's not quite on the spin. Sleepy is able to give him the 360. Rolling over and makes him do a trick. Boom, not able to get the point.
Yeah, some instant backup there coming through. Over towards Boom. They know they need to do so much here. And they know they're so close at that 50-point margin towards the top side of the lobby. It's been a long, long time since we've had 7 points between the likes of 10th place to 3rd.
I mean, at this point with a chicken dinner, everyone from, I mean, even realistically, 14th with Aura with a chicken dinner could be in 2nd place at the end of this game. It could be literally everybody in this lobby, except for maybe Pandem and Flash. But it could be almost literally everybody in this lobby that could be in 2nd place at the end of this one. There's only 3 teams, as I said before, Pandem and Team Flash, that wouldn't end up in 2nd place at the end of this game. And that's Pandem, Team Flash, and 4th Thrives. Because, of course, they're just so far ahead. It's absolutely brutal this late in the day, this late in this tournament, to have such a volatile standing. We talk so much about how having 6 games in a day could be difficult, and it might be made, but we guarantee a 4th here if luck goes down. Who's that getting spotted them out? I think, is it TT Project on the north side?
Yeah, it's from the gold compound. They currently have a nice little angle over towards Falak. Really good eyes on coming through from Effect. Knock him inside of the hovercraft and get gone. A good vehicle to keep your player up, but FES moves up, puts a bunch of damage in. TT Project, they will have seen who dropped down the elimination feed there and might be a little bit hungrier for this one, because remember, TT Project trying to push themselves as far up as possible.
One step too far forwards, because that'll happen. FES goes down. The Cypher keeping them safe, and Anchor on that southwest side. This fight is very isolated. The circle goes back to where we were before. Blank goes a lot further south, helps out 4 Thrives on the southwest side. If they can get themselves back together and back off TT Project, they could line the north side of Quarry. They don't need to teleport this time.
There's no teams on the south either, so 4 Thrives just have a whole buffet of locations to work with. Begin to move out through Swamp. The rest of the squads are sending inwards now. Ulf trying to play on the eastern side. Another team looking fairly good so far, but they're rotating in with Aura. Eren looks for a spray on the drive-by. Can't quite find it there, but does back them off at least. But they need to be quick on this next rotate. Figure out where they're going to play next.
It is not easy as well, with the west shift followed by that south hard shift towards Quarry. Teams are going to start to be moving very, very quickly, and you're going to have a lot of traffic in the way. 7-2-1. They did very well yesterday, but Blank today, not been their day. Certainly not in the same fashion. And the nades pouring in from Furia are going to make their day a little bit worse. Another one over the top, and it will find the second knock. 7-2-1 now, playing as 2 players. Aliku could potentially crawl back in, and this is potentially resable, but there are too many teams around the area to feel that that's entirely safe. Pandem are starting to crest that ridgeline. Ulf are just on the doorstep too.
We're waiting to strike on this. I mean, for Furia, it would be a good team to take down because they are incredibly close to them on the leaderboards. Aliku tries to make the crawl in. The door is shut behind him. Too little, too late. Horror also taking a knock here coming through from Furia. That's over towards that south side, playing on top of the hill. So good awareness from Furia here.
Holding their nerve, holding their ground as well, which some would say is more important. In a central location would be a great result for them. The north side of Quarry does indeed get occupied by 4 Thrives, with BTR on their west flank, TT Project up towards the north side as well. They have a little bit of a buffer zone, but I feel like their south is potentially their weaker point, right? Teams who can wrap around, like BTR are currently looking to do, and maybe S2G, that could be where 4 Thrives are weakest.
Aurora moving up over towards Aura right now, gets the player in the vehicle. The nade just a bit too far. Won't quite pop him out the back, but he is bleeding out fairly quickly, realizes he needs to get him out, crawl back round. Ooh, right in the nick of time, but not before. It's Ulf actually coming through, as Jiggle will get knocked next by Furia at distance.
No fear now, the last to stand for Horror, and their performance in the group stages has just not been echoed here in the finals. That's the way this cookie's crumbled. Circle goes, and it's up towards the northwest side here, Blank. So, we get a little bit more of those open fields. The swamp on the north edge. And E-Arena, again, in a pretty solid spot for this one.
Yeah, E-Arena may be looking for another good game. Coming off the back of the last one there. For Aurora, Ulf needs to get a move on. For Ulf, I was a bit disappointed there because realistically, as that shift comes through, you know there's a lot of field in play. You know there's not many compounds to work with. Realistically, you need to be in vehicles as the circle descends, right? And I think for Ulf, they were too preoccupied with trying to take shots at teams around them. So now Ulf do need to get a move on, and I think that this is where they struggle the most. When a circle moves away from them, right now on the map, you can't see it, but they are delaying. They take a long time to make any decisions.
We have seen them make some mad dashes successfully previously, so hopefully this will be another repeat of that, but there's so many teams around them. We're on board with Boom, who sit on their northern flank, looking to make a similar approach. They're kind of locked in, though, is the difficulty for Ulf, right? That south side over towards Quarry. I mean, where do you go? If you're trying to go that way, I just don't see it happening. So for Ulf, they need to clear pretty much straight forwards or straight to the side in towards Boom. It's really limited in terms of their options.
Fourth Thrives, they do have Hazifa on their northern edge that they can regroup on. Definitely a playable position. I think they would have rather held on to the north side of Quarry, though, because that's a very nice setup where you've got Hazifa as the initial stop checkpoint for teams, but then you've also got these high ground position providing him cover fire. I wonder how long the rest of Fourth Thrives is going to be playing around this spot. Goat's going to wrap round on the southwest side, and Solus will be knocked on a vehicle explosion that's coming through from Furia as he attempts to make a mad dash in towards their location.
Aurora do take shots over towards Furia, though, so the attention will be split somewhat. Potential to get Solus back up if Ulf can sneak through the gaps here. But Aurora have got the high ground over both of these two teams. And Ulf may look to backfill, actually. Towards Aurora's position, potentially be an option there. S2G, they've been wrapping around the south side, but so are Goat team now, trying to wrap in behind them. S2G, I feel like this should be a solid position to hold for it, but Solk's gone down, and Force is out to show S2G just how to handle business. Force hits the deck, and now it's just Hamzy on the off angle, and Goat team able to push S2G aside.
Really clean plays there coming through from Force, keeping Goat in. Fourth Thrives were potentially looking to ride over towards our location, but end up stopping short. The Flash finding shots over towards Boom. They try and make their way off from Radio Tower. Really tough spot to be here for Boom. And the circle comes south. I mean, Fourth Thrives have played fantastically well, but I think we have to admit at this point in time, there's been a lot of circles given to them.
Oh, this one least, no less than the others there. Aurora, potential threat though to their high ground position on the south flank. IQ will be first to face that one. We'll see if they can divert it. They've also got Ulf, who did go for that full